You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy FRI-YAY. Shout out to everyone that's already in the building. I appreciate you guys waiting so patiently for me. Look, when I'm doing a live like this, like Tuesday Takeover or FRI-YAY Live, where we're covering a bunch of hot topics, different stories, sometimes there's some last minute things. Oh, wait, I need to add this. Or there's some breaking news. Or Bravo releases a statement. So sometimes I'm like, oh, wait, I forgot to add this. So there's a lot of production that's involved. And you don't see any producers, do you? Okay. If I had a producers and a team, which I will, then maybe I'll be on time. For live television, you have to be on time. So yes, in the future, I will be on time. And in life, I am not like Dorit. I arrive on time. I actually arrive early. But when I'm producing a show and hosting a show, it's going to take me some time. But I appreciate your patience, all right? And I appreciate 102 likes already. So thank you guys. Again, be sure to let me know where you're watching from. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let me know where you're watching from as well. Shout out to those of you watching on YouTube, those of you watching on Facebook. Are you guys following me on Facebook? Follow me on Facebook, The Kempire on Facebook. Are you guys following me on Twitch, The Kempire on Twitch? Are you following me on TikTok, The Kempire on TikTok? I go live on TikTok all the time. I was live on TikTok last night. We are also live on X, aka Twitter. Ooh, Twitter. I had Twitter bothered last night. I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, damn. You guys had feelings about my thoughts about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, more specifically when it comes to Baltimore St. John, but we will get to it. We will get to that in just a second. Toya's watching from Dallas. J-Poo's watching from Charleston, South Carolina. What's going on, everyone? Thank you, Angel. Angel says, it's okay, Kemp. We love you, appreciate you, and all your work. Thank you so much, Angel. I appreciate it. Greetings from Sweden. Okay, now we have more than one person from Sweden in the building. Do I need to do a meetup in Sweden? I do want to go back to Sweden. Oklahoma's in the building. What's going on? Kadishasa, is that how you pronounce it? Says, wrapping up my Friday early with y'all. Oh, I love that for you. And it's a beautiful day here in New York City. I don't know where you're watching from. DJ Zora is watching from Oklahoma and watching on X. Shout out to those of you watching on X as well. OMG Steph says, Kempire, me too. I woke up to all this hate. There were a lot of people agreeing with me, but there were some people like, oh, how did you guys even graduate college? I did graduate college with summa cum laude. What about you? Look, what about you? We'll talk about it. All right, watching from LA, Tyair, what's going on? Beautiful photo. Tyair, you got your things out. Beautiful, though. Look, beautiful. I can appreciate a beautiful woman. Watching from LA, going on a second date tonight, doing my hair. Well, the hair already looks late in this picture. Okay. Good luck on your second date tonight. Okay. How was the first date? I was thinking about doing a dating live tonight. I like to do those impromptu, but so make sure your notifications are on. You never know. If I don't end up having anything to do tonight or a date, then maybe I'll be live this evening on YouTube exclusively, trying to get into all y'all business. Okay. All right. All right. Amaris is not coming for the education, right? I was like, first of all, people misunderstand people all the time. There's miscommunication no matter at whatever educational level all the time. Not to say that there was a misunderstanding. We'll get to it in a second. Let me get into the stories, guys, because we have quite a few stories that I want to get into in regards to our FRI-YAY Live. If you're new here, this is where we cover a variety of reality TV shows, but we also talk about some important news that's going on in pop culture. And if you're new to the channel, this is where you get all of your news.
That's really upsetting to me, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't say that.
All of the important news, okay? We talk politics and things like that as well. The correspondence dinner is happening this weekend in Washington, D.C. And I hear Nicki Minaj is attending. Apparently, Nelly is performing. Just giving you the update of what is going on, all right? All right, every FRI-YAY Live, we love to start off with Flunky of the Week. Okay, we'll start off with Flunky of the Week, but I also want to know your good news. So live chat, if you have some good news that you want to share with us, and replay crew, if there's some good news that you want to share with us, be sure to share it in the live chat. My good news today, had a really good Pilates session this morning. Had a very good Pilates session this morning. What else? I got a lot done. Slept really well. My thing said I had a very high sleep score, so I slept really well. Okay, moving on. Let me see what you guys are saying. And Young Eartha Kid, thank you so much for the super chat. Young Eartha Kid says, with the audio leak from Summer House reunion news, I didn't walk to this live. I ran. Let's talk about it. We are going to talk about it. But before we get to what you guys are waiting on, I am going to get into some other pop culture news stories that we've been following this past week, including the David story. So we'll get to that in just a second. But like I said, I want to know what your good news is today. Be sure to let me know. And let's talk about Flunky of the Week. So I got a couple of Flunkies of the Week besides the president. I think we could also add Amanda and Wes to Flunkies of the Week, right? They just had the reunion yesterday, so they'll be Flunkies of the Week. All right. Did you guys see the photo of them leaving the reunion together? Flunky of the Week. Amanda, really? This is what you decided your next damn. Hold on. Can y'all take a closer look at Amanda's hands? How old is Amanda? I'm sorry. I'm just noticing this. Wow. Those aren't the hands of a young woman. I'm just saying. I just noticed that. I was like, ooh. But if you listen to the audio, then you shouldn't be completely surprised. They did call her a snake. Those are the hands of a snake. Okay? Damn. Anyway, focus. I will get to Summer House in just a second. Soraya says RFK should be on that list. Isn't he always? When is he not putting his foot in his mouth? Okay? All right. Foxy said 50. I know that's not true. She's 34? Oh, damn. Exactly. Tanya, I don't think people know this enough. Put some retinol on you. The same way you put the retinol on your face to remain ageless, you should be also putting it on your hands and neck and décolleté. Okay? Décolletage. All right. No, I don't believe Paige has made any comments about Scamanda. No, she hasn't. We'll get to the Summer House of it all. Back to the Flunkies of the Week. So, President's Flunky of the Week, RFK's Flunky of the Week. All right. I have plenty of Flunkies of the Week. But this one stood out to me. Did y'all hear that the Las Cotorritas Awards are returning to Bravo and Peacock? But if you see the announcement on X, the way that they are dragging Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers, look, we haven't seen it for them ever since they told people not to donate to Jasmine Crockett's campaign. And for all we know, they're part of the reason why she lost. But she still set a record in regards to the amount of people that did come out and vote for her. Anyway, so Bravo says, rule of culture, hashtag 2026. The Las Cotorritas Culture Awards are back and are airing simultaneously on Bravo and Peacock June 17th at 9 p.m. You're welcome, Bravo, that I'm even giving you the promotion of this, if you guys are even interested in watching these stupid awards. Yep, I call them stupid. But like I said, people are dragging them in the comment section. I had to go look up because I remember when the ratings came out for these awards, and I said, oh, they won't be back. But apparently they are coming back. It happens when your industry plants. So according to the ratings, they said Las Cotorritas Culture Awards is a U.S. television show broadcast on Bravo since Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. So they said the Culture Awards is watched by a total number of 108,000 people with a 0.03% in their demo. That's not 108,000 viewers. Okay? As the daily audience measurement on August 5th of 2025. So looking at the demo, they said the demo between 18 and 49, damn, not 38,000 in regards to the audience. For the 18 to 49, the ideal for advertisers. So 38,000 people viewed it in that age range. 49,000 between the ages of 25 to 54 watched with a 0.04 demo. So I'm trying to understand why we're bringing that back and we still can't get Family Karma back? Family Karma, and I get it, different budgets, different amount of people being paid. However, 108,000 viewers? Exactly. Their ratings are worse than Watch What Happens Live. Look. Alkibia says, I thought you were saying 108. No, 108,000 viewers. That's a lot of viewers. Look. It's a lot of viewers. I guess. Apparently, it will be returning. As you can see, you're welcome, Bravo. Free promo. They are our flunkies of the week, Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang. I will never see it for them, especially Bowen Yang. You want to know why? Because when Matt Rogers released his PR statement in regards to the Jasmine Crockett situation, Bowen Yang basically just reposted Matt Rogers' repost and was like, here you go. He didn't say here you go, but he might as well have said, here you go. So I was like, oh, so you can even decide to put together, you can even go into ChatGPT of it all and put a statement together. You like repost and here you go. Really? So I will never see it for them. I will never. Sorry, but that's me. Go ahead and go watch those awards. Let's see if they can beat last year's numbers. Okay. Exactly. I guess they're the definition of culture. Of all people to be the heads of culture awards, those are the last people I would be going for, the culture awards. And exactly, Miss Parker, dude was like, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Exactly. Queen says, we definitely need a Family Karma back. We've been saying since they canceled it, it didn't make sense. The numbers weren't numbering. But all right. I've digressed. So there are flunkies of the week, Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers. You're welcome. I still promoted your culture awards. I won't be watching. All right. Moving on. Let's move on, y'all. Let's move on. Let me close out these things because I have way too many tabs open that I want to get to. Let's talk about, hold on. Let me make sure I focus on things. First of all, you may have missed it because that particular video, a lot of you did not see. Yesterday, I posted a video giving you an update in regards to Monique Samuels returning to the Real Housewives of Potomac. According to the Neighborhood Talk, she's returning for season 11 filming, and she's returning as a friend of. So there you go. Monique is returning. Are you happy about that? I could care less. I felt like her return last season was lackluster. But she's returning. Well, we shall see. It'll be interesting to see her interactions with regular Robin and the other women. We shall see. It's a great opportunity to be on the show as a friend of. That way she doesn't have to show her personal life. She doesn't have to show her kids or anything like that. It won't really conflict with her and Big Boy. So I'm sure he'll still have opinions, but as long as they don't bring Cookie back. All right, so we had that news yesterday. I also reported to you that Drew Sidora and Ralph Pittman are still battling it out in court. Mods, can we just post a link to yesterday's video? So for those that may have missed it, because I cover a lot of details in that video from yesterday. So Drew and Ralph are still battling. She's accusing Ralph of being physically abusive with their son. And apparently she had brought this up in court back in 2024. And she brought it back up again. She's fighting to stay in the house. The judge ordered for her to move out of the house by the end of next month. And she's lost primary physical custody. Speaking of primary physical custody, Kroy Biermann, Kim Zolciak's ex, side by her ex-sugar daddy, we also did a video this past week on that, Big Papa died. Oh. Kroy Biermann, though, is seeking primary physical and legal custody of their 4 minor children. Right now, their custody situation is where they have 2 of their kids separately, like every other weekend or something like that. They're switching out the kids. So at no given point are all the 4 minor kids are together. He also says basically that, not that she's not fit, because he did say that she was fit, but he also says that her priority, Kim's priority, is fame and working, and the kids are not her priority. Here's the thing. I'm not saying that Kim's a bad mother because I don't know. We see a snapshot of these people's lives. But based on what we used to see on Real Housewives of Atlanta when she just had the 2 daughters and she wasn't with Kroy, I wouldn't have said to myself that she's the greatest mother. I'm just saying, I don't like to judge people's parenting, but just based off of what we used to see with the two girls, and mind you, the fathers, I don't know if they got the same daddy. I don't know. Maybe because the father wasn't involved in their lives, because remember, Croy also adopted her two older daughters. Maybe she was able to get away with being the kind of mother that she was. But now you have an active father. I'm just saying. So Kim Zolciak could possibly lose physical and legal custody of her children. That is what Croy is seeking now. For those that are wondering what is Croy doing for work, apparently he got a regular 9 to 5 because someone's got to take care of these kids. So that's the latest update. We'll post the link in the live chat in regards to it. And if you're watching the replay of this, go check it out here on our page. I gave you a full update in regards to that, in regards to Monique returning, in regards to Drew and her divorce battle, and Croy and Kim in their divorce battle. Yes, Big Papa died this past week. He was, 60-something years old? 69 years old? Oh, Lord. And okay, since you guys are mentioning Drew, did I miss something on TMZ? Because I wouldn't be surprised that these people are leaking stuff to TMZ right now. Let me see if I can find it. Let me just put in the search. And guys, as I'm doing that, be sure to like the video. Today's our FRI-YAY live. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, be sure to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Okay, so this was released this morning, or actually this afternoon. All right, so we have an update in regards to Drew Sidora and her battle with Ralph Pittman. This is just getting... They have young kids, and I get it. This happens a lot in divorce where they're just back and forth, and I'm not on anyone's side because we know Ralph is trash, but I'm also looking at Drew. Another video we did this week in regards to Drew was her apologizing for being snarky in the comments and shading Kelly. You saw Kelly's response. Kelly Farrell was just like, leave me alone. I got to go carpool. I have to do carpool in the morning. Ooh, child. Ooh, child. All right, so this is the update in regards to Drew and Ralph's really contentious divorce. TMZ got their hands on some text messages. So Drew Sidora claims she paid her estranged husband, Ralph Pittman, half of her Real Housewives of Atlanta checks during their marriage, TMZ has learned. TMZ obtained alleged text messages between Drew and Ralph that were submitted as evidence in their ongoing divorce battle. Oh, we can see, we got the documents, y'all. Oh my God, these documents are so hard to read. Okay, oh my God, these are bad. TMZ, how'd you get your hands on it and you didn't get the actual clear document? Because they're really hard to read, y'all. Some of it you can read. That you don't pay, you will be in contempt. Like, oh my goodness. All right, let me just continue with the article. As TMZ first reported, the judge presiding over the case ordered Drew to vacate the home by next month. Drew claims that she will be homeless and does not have the funds to find another home at this time. She's begging the court to reconsider. As a part of her plea, Drew included texts that she believes helped make her case. One alleged text dated April 13th, 2026, Drew wrote to her ex, "I most definitely cannot afford $9K of household expenses at this time." She says, "Are you going to pay for half of the groceries as well as half of the kids' expenses for the month?" she asked. Ralph added, "Good morning. I believe this is very generous as you haven't contributed anything towards the home for a number of years. Your attorney should be advising you, but if you don't pay, you will be in contempt," Ralph warned. "Ralph, how can you say I haven't given you money toward the house in years? I've given you 50% of my money for Real Housewives, and all along you were getting paid directly from Bravo as well." Did she not know that? That's crazy. So Drew, in these text messages, is claiming that she would give Ralph half of her Real Housewives paycheck, but she claims that he was already getting paid directly from Bravo. Did she not know that? Was that another deceit in their relationship? So she says, "Ralph, how can you say I haven't given you money towards the house in years? I've given you 50% of my money for Real Housewives, and all along you were getting paid directly from Bravo as well. I gave you 50% of my endorsement deals and my movies." 50%? Why would you give him that much? Even if he was your manager, he wouldn't get 50%. Excuse me? But we know Ralph is trash. But at the same time, Drew, why would you do that? So she says, I gave you 50% of my endorsement deals and my movies. Let's talk about how you took $300,000 out of my money I received personally on my personal injury settlement. He took $300,000 out of her money. She asked Ralph why the mortgage had not been paid on their Georgia home, claiming that they were behind $25,000 in payment. Ralph responded, you're making stuff up again, so I won't entertain. That's easy to prove because all you have to do is say, reach out to the mortgage company, has this been paid? And then provide the information where they'll say it's been paid or it hasn't been paid. On April 14, Drew wrote, you have done the ultimate betrayal and tried to destroy me as their mom, defame my character, career, brand, and me as a human being, time and time again. So please just focus on what's best for the kids moving forward. In response, Ralph scoffed at Drew's claims that she would be homeless if forced to leave their home. He said, you can no longer hide and don't want people to see you for who you really are. All the lies you told are being cleared out without me doing anything. You're a terrible person and I pray you work on your spirit. That's Ralph saying that. Don't try and act like you want to be a mom now. It's too late, Ralph added. He added, you're too delusional to even understand what's happening. Try praying for yourself. Drew said, you got banished from church for trying to date the politician's daughter, you loser. My mom and I tried to save you, but only God can save you now. I pray you repent. Oh my goodness. I tried to date the politician's daughter and you and your mom tried to save me, Ralph said with a laughing emojis. He says, I know I'm a loser and guess what? You are too, with clown emojis. Can I say something? Look. They're both losers. Oh my God. Didn't I say this the other day? I believe Ralph is trash, but I also feel that Drew is less than smart. Because why were you paying this man half of your salary of anything? And even if he was your manager, he wouldn't be getting half. Why was he getting half of any of this stuff? And is there documentation of him getting half? That's crazy work to me. But look, things happen in marriages. So he says, oh, I try to date look, I can read it like how I can picture him saying it. I try to date the politician's daughter and you and your mom try to save me, he said with laughing emojis. He says, I know I'm a loser. And guess what? You are too, with clown emojis. And you both are. You really both are. He says, watch when you get your attorney bill. You're really going to feel like a loser, he said with another clown emoji. Oh my God. Like, I feel bad for Drew, but at the same time, I'm just like you have bigger fish to fry, and I get it, you have a job to do, and you feel like these are the things that you have to do, Drew, online to keep your job. But girl, you have bigger fish to fry, and I think you need to get a better lawyer. I definitely think you need to get a better lawyer. I don't like how this is playing out for Drew because I do think that Drew's a nice person. But at the same time, you also married this man. P-Dub said he didn't deny it, though. You're right. This is like this. Like, I want to be out of the group chat. I know this is my job, but at this particular point, seal this up. Because this is crazy. This is really crazy. Oh, all right. Drew, get a new attorney. Because I feel like the attorney is not advising you well. Or maybe you're not listening to your attorney. Because that's something that's possible, too. Satra says, Ralph love bombed Drew. Drew is dematized, meaning like she's, for those that are watching, not demon, but dematized. She probably gave him half to hide the money, but he's not giving it back. Oh, so you accusing, hold on. Are you accusing her of illegal behavior? Well, then isn't that her karma too? Because why would you do that? Excuse me, y'all. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because why would you give him 50%? Either way, Ralph, you're still trash. And ain't no good gonna come to you if what you're doing and what she's saying is true. Shannon says, I thought the Bravo didn't pay husbands. That's not true because we already know in New Jersey the husbands gets paid. Normally, Bravo doesn't pay the husbands, But again, everyone's contract is going to be different depending on how you negotiate it. It wouldn't surprise me if he, hence why he was sitting down and doing confessionals. It wouldn't surprise me because of their divorce. It's like he went to production and was like, well, if you want my side of the story, if you want a full season, if you want this season to be a success, then you need me. And if you need me, you're going to have to pay me. And they were probably like, okay, we'll pay you. And I wouldn't be surprised. They were like, we're not going to pay you this season. And that's why we won't see him this season. TJ says, that darn TMZ be on it, especially this week. All right. Two Foxy's celebrating 13 months of membership. Taurus women are usually smart. I want to mute you so bad, Two Foxy. She hasn't had her last laugh yet. It's not too late for Drew. I just don't know what Drew. I don't know what Drew. So that's the update. Thank you guys for letting me know that there was an update in regards to this Drew situation. Let's move on because we have so much more to get into. For those that are just joining us, this is our FRI-YAY Live that you can watch on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and Twitter. And you can also hear us on the Kempire podcast. Subscribe today. Today is brought to you by our friends over at Hulu. They had a really cool weekend this week in regards to their reality television content that's coming up. Real talk. You live for reality TV. Every time it gets crazy, gets juicy, gets dramatic, and completely irresistible. And lucky for you, Hulu on Disney Plus does too, with the most unhinged and unmatched library of shows. Period. Turn on larger-than-life docusoaps like Season 4 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and the hit new series Love Thy Nader, featuring superstar model Brooks Nader and her sisters. Obsess over the seasons of iconic dating shows like Love Island UK and Farmer Wants a Wife. Get hooked on irresistible food competitions like MasterChef. Dive into hit game shows like Celebrity Family Feud and revel in show-stopping fashion competitions, including the one and only Project Runway. Whatever it is you're into, Hulu has it all. No filler, no fluff, just thousands of episodes of the very best in reality TV every single day. Because Hulu gets real. Stream now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. And we're back. Again, guys, more information on our sponsors and everything Kempire will be available in the description. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats. And Kendra says, I did love Ciara saying you're a snake in the grass, silent but deadly. Ciara was on her neck. We're going to get to Summer House in just a second, guys, so stay locked and loaded here. Niche, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Let me shimmy for the $20. You sent another one. Ooh, Niche. And you're celebrating 9 months of membership. Niche, welcome to the community. Niche says, hey, everyone, I made this live because I'm homesick. I need a mental health break. I'm asking for a transfer. My department is toxic racism. I'm newly sober. I'm just being honest. Please send me thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Definitely send you thoughts and prayers, Niche. I'm so sorry you have to even be dealing with that. Make sure you're documenting everything. As someone that works in used to work in HR, make sure you're documenting everything and you have a track of complaints, your own complaints, before they try to use it against you. Niche, thank you for another super chat. Anish says, thank you everyone in the chat for showing me love. I'm in tears of joy and I have another group and community to care, support, and root for me. Thank you. I love that, Anish. Niche is celebrating 9 months of being a member here on the channel. Niche, we wish you the best. Sending you good vibes. Cece, thank you so much for the super chat. Cece said, and for being a member. Cece says, hey Fave, I just saw a post of Kenya Moore hair care salon being evicted to the damn street. Not the damn street. OMG sent the DM. Here's the thing, though. We knew that she was already evicted. So what's necessarily the update? Did we see moving vans? Look, did we see moving vans? Let me see. Oh, here it is. Oh, hold on. Thank you so much, Selena. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, damn. Well, here's the thing. We reported to you that Kenya Moore had been evicted. We already told you. It was just the logisticals of having the people go there and officially have her removed. Now, apparently, the neighborhood talks got their hands on the footage. So let me pull this up, y'all. This is breaking news. Not breaking news. Give me a moment because now I have to extract the video. Shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk. I'm going to just extract the video so I can show it to you guys because this is a mess. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Go check on the channel. Just look up Kenya Moore. One of our last videos has to be about the court ordering and approving an eviction. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing footage of Kenya's stuff being moved out of the space that she built for like $300,000. Yeah, she invested all that money, including Brooklyn's college fund. That's what she said. Lord, Kenya, this is such a sad situation. And this is due to poor choices. Poor choices, man. Like, she could be making money right now if she hadn't done this. She would still be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And now she probably won't be able to work with the network until this Britt Edie lawsuit has been dismissed or settled. And that could take a couple of years. Ugh. Hold on, y'all. Let me bring this up. Please and hold so you guys can see it because we got breaking news. Hold on. Let me come. All right, so pause. So you can see, shout out to our friends over the Neighborhood Talk. So the Neighborhood Talk reports this in regards to this. They said neighbors following a legal dispute over alleged unpaid rent, bystanders noticed that Kenya Moore's hair spa equipment outside the salon. Okay, hold on, y'all. So y'all can see this. Publish. Back to live mode. There we go. See this? That's crazy. So is she not there handling this move? Shouldn't she be there handling this move? Making sure all the things have been properly removed? Because look, all like her personal addresses are out there on the corner. Oh, damn. Look, damn. Ugh, I hate this for her. But that's sad. Like all of this stuff that you invested in out here on the street. Out here on the street, y'all. Look at this. Wow. Her couch, the chairs. And it was a beautiful space. She did a really great job with this space. But as I said to you guys before, the court sided with the landlord because apparently, allegedly, Kenya missed the agreed upon payment. She's supposed to pay into the court registry the payment, and she missed the payment back in March, and she missed the February payment, and then they were already reporting that she had missed the March payment. And the judge agreed to an eviction and that she had to remove all belongings from the space. So I'm not surprised that we see this. Carolina says, I don't feel no ways tired, Karma. Damn. Cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. So for those that are just joining us, we have some more breaking news in regards to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kenya Moore has been officially evicted, but we already reported that to you. But now people have on-the-ground footage of items being left on the curb. Left on the curb. Exactly. Regina says thousands of dollars on the sidewalk. And I don't know if this man has been hired by Kenya or if this is the landlord removing the things. But damn, that sucks. That really sucks. But Kenya, you made choices. Poor choices. So for those that are just joining us, Kenya Moore's salon has been officially evicted. They're removing the items from the salon. And the gowns, weren't those gowns from like her reunions? So they're just sitting on the corner, on the street? And why didn't she just start moving the stuff on her own? Or at least have someone move the stuff? I don't know. Maybe that's who's removing this stuff. I don't know. That sucks. That definitely sucks. I hate to see it, but choices. Okay, let's be honest though. Would this salon have survived even if she was on the show? I think she would have had a better shot because being on the show really does bring more attention and eyes to a business. But her not being on the show definitely hurt her chances of actually using or promoting this business. All right. Oh, damn. Oh, Kenya's in Korea with Brooklyn. Look, if I had to choose between moving out and being away in South Korea, I'll be in South Korea. Come on. Turn out of South Korea, get all the skincare stuff done. Yes. Okay. All right, Kenya. Thank you guys for the update. See, look, you see a last minute live, so much breaking news. We have more to talk about. So I need to rest my voice. Let's move on. All right. And I will be adding the timestamps, guys, later, whenever I get a chance. It is Friday. Okay, can I have a life? All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Michael Jackson movie. So the Michael Jackson movie is out today. A lot of you have already gone and seen it. I've seen a lot of really great reviews. If you've seen it already, be sure to let us know in the chat or the replay crew and how you would rate it from 1 to 10. There was a story out there that Kat Graham, you remember Kat Graham from the Vampire Diaries? We got the same stylist. Anyway, Kat Graham released a statement confirming the rumors that she was cut from the Michael Jackson movie. She was playing Diana Ross in the Michael Jackson movie. Sidebar. LaToya Jackson was on the red carpet for the premiere and revealed that Janet respectfully declined to being in the movie. And so many people have opinions on that. Oh, how are you doing the movie without Janet Jackson? I agree. However, I understand. Although all the brothers and things like that will be in the movie and they're promoting the movie and blah, 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 they are not Janet Jackson. We have to keep in mind, and this is why I say Janet Jackson is an icon, because the fact that Janet Jackson was able to become an icon in her own right with her hits after hits, and her brother is Michael Jackson, that is not a small feat for her to do. We also have to keep in mind, too, she released a documentary about her life. So I'm pretty sure Janet might be in talks to do her own movie. So that might be part of the reason why she didn't sign off for them to use her in the movie. The same can be said for Diana Ross, because according to Kat Graham, there were legal issues as to why her scenes were cut out. According to Variety, they said Diana Ross will no longer appear in Michael due to certain legal considerations, according to Kat Graham, who was hired to play the legendary Supreme singer in the upcoming music biopic about Michael Jackson. She said, ahead of the April 24th release of the Michael Jackson film, I want to share that certain legal considerations affected a few scenes, including the ones I filmed with an incredible cast. Graham posted Thursday morning on social media. Unfortunately, those moments are no longer a part of the final cut, though the team worked hard to preserve as much of the story as possible. So it makes me wonder what else was taken out of there. Michael underwent major reshoots after the third act of the film was deemed unusable. The initial screenplay had recounted a 1993 lawsuit that accused Jackson of child SA, which he denied. After the movie was shot, producers discovered a clause in the settlement with the young accuser that barred the depiction or mention of him in film or television. Although Graham didn't specify her part in the film was likely axed due to creative changes, Janet Jackson, the performer's famous sister, is not a character in the movie either. Directed by Antoine Fuqua. Hey, Antoine. Lila Rashawn's husband, that same Antoine Fuqua that was caught out there with Nicole Murphy. I have to remind you guys, I am the king of pop culture. I can't help. He's a very talented director, but a terrible husband. I will never forget. But look, Lila, gorgeous in her own right, decided to stay with him. I will never judge married women. We could talk about this on a dating live. Married women staying with a cheating husband. But, okay. So directed by Antoine Fuqua, Michael focuses on the singer's early years, including his relationship with his domineering father, Joe Jackson, who doesn't want his son's solo career to come at the expense of the Jackson 5. Jafar Jackson, the real-life nephew of Michael, is portraying the king of pop in the film, with Coleman Domingo and Nia Long playing his parents. Sidebar, did you guys see Coleman doing a little strut on the red carpet for the premiere? I love him. I'm so happy for him. I'm also in the middle of watching Euphoria, which he's also a part of. And damn, that's a dark show. I have to watch that in the daylight. It's such a dark show. Anyway, so yeah, the Michael Jackson movie in theaters today. Have you guys seen it yet? I haven't. I have not seen it yet. Wait a minute. Curl Wheel says Lila Rashawn used to date Jackie Jackson. Really? Oh, wow. And to be at that movie with Jackie still looks good. Have y'all seen Jackie Jackson? He looks amazing. He does not look his age. And he's the oldest, right? Or one of the oldest. Jackie Jackson is still good. That when we talk about cat daddies, that is a cat daddy. When we talk about struggle bus, Jermaine Jackson. Y'all see his ear? Y'all see his ear? Like, I can't even do it. That's how weird it looked. And his hairline. And I know he's like, a hairline exposed. Look, I ain't got one. I'm bald. But still, I'd much rather be bald than painting on a hairline. All right. Miata says, going tomorrow, and I have my t-shirts ready. Some people are showing up to the movies not dressed up. So I'm not even sure if I should dress up or not. Right? K-Baby says, Jackie does look good. He looks fine. Okay? Cat daddy. Anyways, I digress. Congratulations to Jafar. I heard he did a really good job in the movie. There was something else I wanted to mention about the movie. Nia Long looks amazing on the red carpet for the movie as well. Anyways, let's move on. I have plenty more to get into and to talk about. All right. So that's the update. So you won't see any of Diana Ross in the movie. I'm sure her legal team was like, nope. Some people are speculating it's for other reasons, but we won't speculate on Miss Ross the boss. Okay? We won't speculate on Ross the boss. All right. Let me move on from there. Okay. Let's get into, I have to give you an update on the David situation. David, you remember the singer that has been arrested and charged with the unaliving of Celeste Rivas, a young lady that, according to sources, was with him when she may have been 11, maybe 12 years old, but died when she was just 14 years old. The autopsy came out. I am not going to get into the specific details of the autopsy, y'all. I'm just going to read the report. But I did, shout out to our friends over at Law and Crime if you want more details on the autopsy. It just breaks your heart for Celeste because it's just, damn, like this girl was not protected at all. And yes, she was a runaway, but Lord, and there's more coming out in regards to David. First of all, allegedly, he may have had a sexual relationship with her. They found child pee on his devices. Let's get in. Let me give you the update in regards to this story because we have been following it. As for those that might be new here and don't realize that we talk about everything in pop culture here on the channel. Let me bring this up. Hold on, y'all. Let me bring up the article if I can bring it up. Hold on. Hold on. All right. I thought I had the article ready. Hold on, y'all. Let me just get into, first of all, the new things that are coming out. So according to NBC News, they said singer David possessed a significant amount of child SA images on an iCloud storage account. Remember when we reported on this on Tuesday Takeover? The DA said that they had both physical and digital and forensic evidence. They have 40-something terabytes of information into this investigation. So they said on an iCloud storage, they said prosecutors revealed in a hearing Thursday, days after he was charged with the unaliving of the 14-year-old girl. David, the 21-year-old performer, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, pleaded not guilty to charges of unaliving, continuous SA, and mutilation of human remains on Monday in the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The 14-year-old was found dismembered in the trunk of the singer's impounded Tesla in September, though officials believe she died in April of 2025. Attorneys for Burke have said that they will vigorously defend his innocence and that they believe that the evidence will show he had no involvement in Celeste's death. Either way, he's going up the river. They found child pee in his iCloud storage. Both sides appeared in court on Thursday as Burke's legal team seeks evidence in the case, noting on Monday during his arraignment that they had received little discovery. Beth Silverman, Deputy District Attorney for Los Angeles County, said that there was an enormous amount of material in case file and is taking a long time to upload. 44 terabytes or something like that. She said that Burke's iCloud account alone has 8 terabytes of data. 8 terabytes David has on his iCloud of data, and that's only 1 terabyte has so far been downloaded. Silverman told the court that there's a significant amount of child SA images on the iCloud account belonging to Burke. So either way, you going up the river, sir. It's unclear how much of the 8 terabytes of data on the account contains child SA content. Prosecutors noted that the protocol prevents them from turning over the sensitive images, but the defense attorney can view the data at a clean computer in the Justice Center. Other evidence in the case requires motions to be unsealed, including a wiretap and grand jury testimony. Not a wiretap. There were also 20 to 30 terabytes of raw data from numerous digital devices that the district attorney's office said that is trying to transfer onto drives for Burke's defense team. Because now the defense also has to review all of this data. We might have to bring Kirsten Brown back because I need to know her thoughts. Unless she's on this case. Oof. Burke, aka David, who is being held without bail, was stoic throughout the hearing and looked directly at the judge. He was slumped over in his chair while wearing an orange jumpsuit. When asked by the judge if he agreed to a specific date, he mumbled, "Yeah." Celeste's manner of death was determined to be a homicide. According to a report released by the Los Angeles County Department of the Medical Examiner on Wednesday, an autopsy found 2 penetrating wounds to her torso that may represent sharp force injuries. This is so sad. She had other wounds that penetrated her liver and chest. According to the death investigation summary, the teenager's parents are not in court were not in court on Thursday. Her family is devastated by the details of the daughter's horrible and gruesome death, according to the statement from family attorney Patrick Steinfeld. These findings have caused profound emotional pain for the family, Steinfeld said Wednesday. They respectfully ask for privacy, understanding, and patience as they process this information. Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman accused Burke of killing the teen girl to maintain his lucrative music career, which he said that she threatened. She was last known to be alive on April 23, 2025, when she was seen at Burke's Hollywood Hills home. Celeste was reported missing from her home in Lake Elsinore, California, a year earlier in April of 2024. Her whereabouts between then and showing up at Burke's home a year later are unclear. A criminal complaint filed against Burke on Monday alleged that the SA of Celeste occurred on or between September 7, 2023 and September 7th, 2024, while the defendant resided with and had recurring access to the child. Because at that time, she's 13 years old. That's crazy. They said Celeste would have turned 13 years old on September 7th of 2023. Wow. Her body was not found until September 7th of 2025 when police were called to Hollywood Toad due to concerns of a foul odor coming from Burke's Tesla. It was the day after what would have been Celeste's 15th birthday. A court filing in February showed that Burke was the target of a grand jury investigation, saying that Celeste may have been the victim of foul play. Both his parents, Colleen and Dawood Burke, were ordered to appear February 11th before a grand jury, according to court documents. The investigation was hindered by the severe decomposition of Celeste's remains, as crucial evidence had degraded or disappeared. And this is why it's important to know, because you may have seen reports about one of her eyes missing. That seems to be due to the amount of time it took for them to even find her body. And her body was already decomposing at that particular point. Because if she died in April of 2025, possibly, because that was the last time that she was seen, they found her body in September. Do the math. That's almost 6 months. That's crazy. And that they probably are able to determine based off of the autopsy how long she had been dead. So they said the investigation was hindered by the severe decomposition of Celeste's remains, as crucial evidence had degraded or disappeared, Los Angeles Police Chief Jim McConnell said this week. Mind you, during this time, David was off on tour until her body was found. Prosecutors are seeking 3 enhancements to the romantic homicide singer's murder charge: lying in wait, financial gain, and murdering a witness to an investigation. The special circumstances could potentially make this a death penalty case. A judge denied requests for cameras in the court at the next scheduled hearing, citing the sensitivity of the child SA images. Attorneys are expected to meet at the courthouse again next week. We're going to continue to follow this story. This is crazy. This is really crazy. This is sad. This is just gross that this young girl was not protected in every which way. So that's the update in regards to the David investigation that's ongoing, murder investigation that's ongoing. All right, let me move on from there because we have quite a few more things to get into. And if you guys haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. And if you're listening to the cleaned up, edited down version of this on the podcast, be sure to do me a favor and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. It's easy, it's free, it's quick. Please do it. It helps us continue to grow our ever-growing community. Cece, thank you so much for the super chat. Cece says, hey, Fave, just saw a post. Oh, wait, I read this already. Thank you again, Cece, for that. Appreciate you. Way of Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Way of Keith, and for being a member. Way of Keith says, I feel like Drew is more focused on getting the public's approval rather than the courts. No, I meant to put that. Yeah. Why would a judge grant Ralph primary physical custody if Drew submitted docs of him being abusive? Did you see my video yesterday, Keith? I literally said the same thing. Because I feel as if you had a better attorney or you were documenting these things, you should be living in that house and he should be paying everything based off of the evidence that you have against him. Du Bois, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Yep, I just drove by her salon and saw her clothes outside with the police guarding everything. I tried to send you the video. Thank you. We have boots on the ground, Renee. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, but you gave us more details. So in regards to the Kenya story, oh, damn. Thank you so much for that update. Scuttle, my Bob, thank you so much for the super chat. You don't win when you play dirty. Was that for Kenya? What an icon Nene is that people are still quoting her all these years later. All right, let's talk about Ladies of London, and then I will get into the Summer House drama. If you're just joining us, guys, this is our FRI-YAY Live, where we talk about a bunch of different hot topics and reality television news and reality TV shows. So I'm not going to go through every scene by scene. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on Ladies of London. I have to say I was locked in. This week. Ladies of London is bringing it. Sidebar, I saw C. Diggy asked Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live about Mark Francis' comments on Beyonce's Renaissance tour being underwhelming. And he says, it might have been where I was sitting, so I didn't get the full experience. Sir, please, no, I know people that were sitting in all different places during the Renaissance. I did not go just because y'all know I don't like a stadium thing and I don't love crowds. So I know people that sat all the way in the back, people that sat in the pit, and everyone had a great experience, no matter where they were sitting. So lies you tell, I'm giving you the side eye because I think there's a little bit of you know what that's about, because there's no way you're going to sit here and tell us that Beyonce was underwhelming. Sir. Anyway. Back to Ladies of London, because there's a lot to... Here's my gripe. You know that Mark Francis and Margot are having this beef right now. And I'm not sure what the beef really is about. I think Margot thought that her and Mark would have a different relationship, that maybe they would be cool. Maybe the relationship that he has with Emma or with the other women, because it seems like the group really likes Mark. They're like, oh my God, he's fun. He's light energy, blah, blah, blah. They enjoy him. And I get it. They enjoy him. So I think she thought that they were going to have that type of relationship, or she doesn't like being on the outs with him. So the last week's episode of Ladies of London ended with him stepping away. And we were like, that's lame, Mark. Have the conversation. So he goes off into the maze and everyone runs out. Not everyone. Kimmy flips out on Margot and you're such a bitch. And then she goes to go talk to her friend. Margot gets up and she goes to have a conversation with him. And this conversation goes left very quickly because it's like, you're obsessed with me. And Mark says, who wouldn't be obsessed with you? Look at you. And then he tries to touch her and she's, oh my God, you're so weird. You're a creep. That's what she said. She didn't call him a freak at that particular point. She was like, you're so upset. He was like, you're so obsessed with me. Before that, one of the things that made me laugh was that I'm not scared of you, Margot. I just don't care. I have to say that was funny to me. I just don't care. But then she says, it's like you're obsessed with me because he's always talking about her fashions and things like that. Everyone seems to be on the same page that this is just British humor. But I feel like it's not just British humor. I love British humor, but at the same time, she also has been in the UK for a very long time. I do think Margot is being extra sensitive. The panic attack that she allegedly had, I feel like a lot of this was performative. I think she did not expect the people that she was close with to also see Mark's side. And the fact that they were saying that she called him a freak, and she was like, I never called him a freak. I said that he was weird, but he is a freak. She in the car, she does call him a freak the next day. But I do feel like Margot is the dramatics of it all. That's where she lost me. I'm not a fan of Mark. I'm not also a fan of Mark trying to now make this into some sort of homophobia. And this is coming as a gay man. I feel like he's trying to make her call him a freak. Now, see, I'm triggered. People have called me a freak for 20 years. I can't even introduce my partner to my parents. That's to do with your parents. They ain't got to do with Margot. Okay? But I do feel like he was trying to weaponize the whole freak narrative, even though she didn't use that word, that freak narrative, to make it seem like she was being homophobic. And I can appreciate Martha saying, I don't think that's what she meant. I don't think it had anything like that to do with that. Because you saw the narrative that he was trying to spin. I really appreciated Martha. Because Martha, when she had found out that something happened with Margot, she was trying to reach her. Only for Margot to blame Martha. I just don't feel like Martha really has had my back. Because like, when she's having conversations with me, she's justifying his behavior and things like that. And I'm like, don't make this about Martha. Martha did no wrong. Martha did no wrong. Exactly, Amanda. Amanda says Margot is annoying, but Mark ain't helping. I can see both sides of the situation. I do find Margot to be annoying and over the top with the dramatics, especially in this week's episode of Ladies of London. But at the same time, I'm just like, Mark, there is a level of extra bullying that you're doing when it comes to Margot. You're constantly talking about what she's wearing. You're not doing that with the other women. With the other women, you're like, oh, I love this look. You look amazing, blah, blah, blah. I think the fact that everyone was on the same page, including Emma was just like, that's just Mark. That's his sense of humor. He's the godfather to my son, blah, 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 blah. So everyone was really having Mark's back, it felt like. So I do see how Margot probably felt on the outs with everyone else. So that's why she had to have this big dramatic look. And she's like, I just have to get out of here. I felt for Lottie because Lottie's like, oh my God, what? Because that's also, the Brits are not, I'm very emotional. So you're having this big emotional reaction. So this is why this lends to the whole narrative. She doesn't get British humor. She's having this big emotional reaction like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then when she seems to be okay, they start walking and then she starts doing it again. And she's, everyone is looking at us. So I get where Lottie's coming from. And look, you can't control a panic attack. You don't know when that's going to happen. So I can't say that she was just putting on. But I feel like we've seen some of this before from Margot in other episodes. So it's like hard for me to have her back on this one. But I can have her back that she never called him a freak the day before. She called him a freak the next day, but she didn't say it to his face. She just said that he was weird. I have to say, when you look back at that particular scene, when she's like, you're obsessed with me. Who wouldn't be obsessed with you? Look at you. Even the way he said it, it was weird. It was a little creepy, the way that he said it, especially when you're in the middle of a fight. And he's just, I don't want any confrontation at Longleat. Me either, but we're filming a reality show. So there has to be some sort of confrontation, and you can't get up and you can't run, Mark, from the confrontation. I'm not going to do this at my friend's home. Then what are you doing on a reality show, Mark? So Mark replays to the group later on that day about being called a freak. She called me a freak, but you see how communication can break down in a situation like this, and people create words that were never said. But all right. Wave Key says, it reminded me of Joe Ellen and Rosie from Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I could see it. They just don't like each other. Some people you just don't vibe with. And I can see people not vibing with a Margot. I can see people not vibing with a Mark Francis, especially when you say you found Beyonce's Renaissance tour underwhelming, Mark. I can see why people are like, oh, I can't be friends with him. Sweet LD, I think it's how you pronounce it, says Mark was weird, but also running away from the comments he made, but refuses to say it to her face is weird. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, Miss Esquire says, seeing white women tears not work on that white man was delicious. A mess. Chris says, I will say Mark is very British, especially his shade, and he does not like Margot one bit. And I think that's what it is. She knows that it's not just British humor. She knows it's not just him being tongue-in-cheek. I think she senses, like, he just doesn't like me. He doesn't like me in comparison. Like, he can be tongue-in-cheek with everyone else, but his humor towards me seems a little bit more sharp, a little bit more directed, a little bit more mean. I think they're both okay. I can't say they're both unlikable because I do find Mark more likable than Margot. But at the same time, I understand where Margot's coming from. And like I said, Margot did not call him a freak. She said that he was weird and a creep. And then him trying to associate that with him being gay, I was like, okay, that's a bit of a reach, but I can't determine what's your triggers, okay? I can't tell you what's going to trigger you from what's not going to trigger you. I don't know what people have called you over the years. Maybe people have called you a creep. Maybe people have called you weird. Look, and maybe all of that just came up. Carrie says that Margot does give white women tears. It was giving that. It felt like it was a way for her to get an excuse to get out of here because she felt like everyone was turning on her. She ends up going back to her cottage, getting her stuff, and leaving. So it wasn't like she just went home and she relaxed. She said that even after she left, she was still having a reaction. If it wasn't on camera, I don't know if I believe it. Okay. Wave Keys says, I hope Mark Francis, Wave Keys is also gay. Wave Keys has been on the channel before, so I could say that. Wave Keys says, I hope Mark Francis stretched before that reached to the moon. Lumax says, I love a long ad for Longleat. Was there an ad, or are you just saying that in regards to the show? Was there an actual ad for Longleat? OMG. D, thank you so much for the super chat. D says, Emma is just there to do one long episode to... advertisement for Longleat. It's getting old. I'm here for Longleat, though. And I said, I think that's the main reason why she even came on the show, was to bring more tourism to Longleat. That's what keeps everything going. And it's a beautiful estate. And I'm not going to lie to you. Next time I'm in the UK, I might have to take a trip because it's beautiful. And I love a good conservatory. Right? So, and if I get to see Emma in the whole situation, I'm like, hey, Emma, girl, how you doing? Where's Mark? Exactly. RC, I love the exposure. We didn't know anything about it. And it's a beautiful estate. Exactly. Foxy says, I love Emma showing us her place and the animals. Me too. This has been my favorite part of the season so far, to be honest. But that's me. All right. So that's Ladies of London. Are you guys watching? It airs after Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It has to be doing decently. I don't know. I haven't checked the ratings. Let's check the ratings. Let me see how they've been doing. Let's see. Shout out to our friends at Ratings Bravo on X. Let's see how they've been doing. Let's see. Okay. That's a big drop because to go from Beverly Hills getting over 753,000 viewers to 291,000 viewers, that's a big drop of people not being interested in Ladies of London. But I do feel like Ladies of London started off really good, got a little mid in between. It's about to end the season, so it's getting back up there a little bit. I think it's only supposed to be about 10 episodes, right? I hope it stays that way. All right. Because we don't need a long season of Ladies of London. There's not a lot of things going on. All right. Let's move on. Let's get into Summer House. Let's talk about Summer House. All right. So Summer House has a lot going on. They filmed their reunion yesterday. And a lot of people reacting. Sidebar, let me just say congratulations to Ciara. Ciara has been announced as one of the people that will be a part of season 35 for Dancing with the Stars. Someone check on Sheena. She's going to be on that. She did a Sonic commercial with Ariana Madix. Okay. The other day, we reported to you that she was on the cover of Glamour magazine. First time her breaking her silence on the Scamanda of it all. Okay. And as I said to you before, they filmed the reunion yesterday only for in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, it was revealed some audio. I can't play the audio for you because Bravo has already been reporting different accounts for even sharing the audio. Andy Cohen on social media after the reunion said this. Let me just play this for you guys. This is what he said after the reunion. This was before we got the leaked audio.
I am walking out of the Summer House reunion. I probably hosted, it's over 100 reunions, maybe 150, something like that. This was one
Way too many reunions, in my opinion, but anyway.
of the most intense we've ever shot. This was a lot. This was a lot. It was very intense, you guys.
I still don't understand why they would have Andy Cohen host this reunion where the demographic is 20 to 40. Why is Andy Cohen like the granddaddy? And this is not age shaming, it's just demographics. I don't understand it. And he hosts every single reunion on the network.
And it was, every question was asked. Every question was asked.
That's what Andy had to say after the reunion. He says every question was asked, but everyone's asking, were they answered? The audio came out. Look, the audio got leaked, all right, in regards to what was said during the reunion. I can't play for you the audio, but I've listened to it multiple times. And shout out to Ciara and shout out to Mia for getting Amanda together. Shout out to our friends over at CC Loves You on Instagram. She got a couple of quotes for me. So at one particular point during this audio, Ciara says, "You are an effing snake, Amanda. You are a snake in the effing grass is what you are. You should honestly just say okay because you know you are. You move silent, but you're effing deadly." Okay. Mia, at one particular point, Mia, this was a sidebar. I figured out where I know Mia from. She was on Selling the Hamptons. Did y'all remember that? How come y'all didn't let me know? I remember watching that. Maybe you guys never watched it. And I was like, why does she look so familiar? And then when I saw her brother Nick this week, I was like, Nick has a girlfriend? And I probably felt that way when we saw him on Selling the Hamptons, okay? They transcribed it, Tish. Can you send me a link via Instagram or something? Not they got it transcribed. I love it. Because I want to read it to you blow by blow. I just didn't have time this morning to do it. Can someone to DM it to me right now? We have a live show happening. DM it to me right now. So at one particular point, Mia says, "You went from being married to one of West Side bitches. It's crazy." Yes, Mia. Yes. KJ also stepped in the audio too. KJ also stepped in. Okay. OMG. Y'all send me it right now. Okay. I want to see this right now. Okay. Oh, wait. Did TMZ post the audio? Can we play the audio? Desiree said TMZ posted the audio. Someone just sent me the audio. I don't want to play it because Bravo is weird. I don't want to play it, but damn. That's it. TMZ has better lawyers than I do, so I'm not taking the risk, y'all. I am not taking the risk. I just saw that TMZ posted the audio. Chris says that KJ posted God is Good post reunion. I saw that. I do see that it's on TMZ. I have it literally in front of me right now. They just posted it 2 hours ago. Well, we're gonna play this under fair use because TMZ did. But Bravo, you got an issue with this? You send it to TMZ. Okay, should I play it? Should I play it? Hold on, y'all. Y'all, it's on TMZ. Bravo. Okay, let me just say this. Bravo has launched an investigation to whoever leaked this audio. So let me just show you what Bravo said on social media. Okay? So Bravo posted this a couple of hours ago. And they said the Summer House reunion audio leak represents a serious breach of trust and a clear lack of respect for the cast, crew, and the integrity of the production process. Oh, woo woo. Look, woo. I'm glad it was leaked. I'll tell you why. We take this matter very seriously and have launched a full investigation, and we will take appropriate action based on our findings. Okay? Let me tell you why I'm glad that this leaked. And I posted a video before this. Oh, damn. Miss Esquire says your lawyer says no. Okay, never mind. That's our lawyer, and I trust Miss Esquire. I'm not playing it. I'm not playing it, y'all. I'm not playing it. But if y'all can send me the transcript. Oh, wait. Oh, Maureen, you just sent me the transcript? Sent you this transcript. Hold on. Oh, this is not the transcript. This is the audio, Maureen, that you sent me. The audio is there. I can't, it's not. No, I need the words. Okay. Miss Esquire said, no, I should not play it. Billy says, Andy leaked the audio to drum up attention. No, I don't believe Andy did it. I wouldn't put past production. But let me tell you something. Danielle says it was leaked on purpose. It's a scheme that Todd set up. I'm glad that the audio leaked for a variety of reasons. First of all, I feel like someone either in the control room leaked it, where they have the audio, or someone on stage leaked it. Because when you listen to the audio, it's very clear, and it has to be someone close to Sierra, Kyle, Amanda, and West. But you can even hear KJ. Look, let me show you the seating chart. Because we didn't even there's a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about. So you can see the seating chart for Summer House's season 10 reunion. So you can see Sierra and Amanda are sitting next to Andy Cohen. Wes is sitting next to Amanda. Kyle is sitting next to Sierra. Next to Kyle is Lindsay. Next to Lindsay is Mia. Next to Mia is Bailey. Next to Bailey is Ben. Okay, me remembering. Across the way, we got Carl, Jesse, KJ, Dara, and what's her name? I completely forgot who this young lady is. Because she's such a non-factor for the rest of the season. She's Natalie from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Don't ask me who Natalie is again. So let's just call her Natalie, whoever's on the end there. Yes, Virgo Leo Cap says, yes, the audio is crisp. So either they were in the control room that got the audio back, or they were right there on stage. Just saying. Oh, wait, are you guys going to email it to me? Because that way I can... Just let me know when y'all email this, because I can pull up all the things right now, okay? For those who just joined us, we're talking about the summer. Like, I can't even talk about this week's episode, okay? I can't even talk about this week's. I'm going to talk about this week's episode, but I had to talk about the breaking news about this leaked audio that came out over the middle of the night. But as I said, I'm glad that this audio leaked, because I feel like if we didn't get this unedited version, that Bravo would continue to protect Amanda. And some people are saying they're not protecting Amanda now. I told you, according to my sources, this cast, Sierra, other Bravo celebrities are being told not to weigh in or talk about Amanda on social media. They're worried about her mental health. That was according to sources. I reported on that a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not mad that this audio leaked, because now they have to keep this audio in. They have to keep this portion of the reunion in. Exactly. The audio was really crisp. Look, it was really crisp. All right. Okay. Let me see what you guys were saying. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Brooklyn Diamond. Thank you for sending this to me. I got it. Look at us working together. Y'all are producers today. Shout out to the producers. I'm giving you guys associate producer credit, okay? Oh, Rita says the mic sounds like it's Amanda's throat. It's so clear. Oh, you think Amanda leaked it? I don't know. I don't know if Amanda leaked it. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for being a member for 51 months. That's a long time. I sent it to you on IG and Threads, the transcript. Oh. Now, look, now I got it. Let me send it. to my computer. Thank you all. You all got associate producer credit today. What does that mean? Does it mean you're going to get paid? No. Okay. So shout out to Reddit. The Reddit streets are hot when it comes to the summer house drama. Keep liking the video, guys. We have almost 1,400 of you here, and we haven't gotten up to 500 likes. What is going on? We're talking about the summer house audio from the reunion leaking. And Bravo says that they've launched an investigation. For those that may have missed it, Bravo released a statement a couple of hours ago. If you want to hear the audio, go to TMZ. I'm not going to risk my livelihood over here. I don't have TMZ's money or lawyers. Okay? Shout out to everyone emailing me. I appreciate it. All right. So this is the transcript in regards to the audio. Ooh, chow. Shout out to the person that did this. He said, did my best. Okay, this is a Venturous Revolt. Did my best at transcribing the audio leak from Summer House Reunion. Pretty obvious it's Wes who recorded it. I'll say allegedly. So happy he will not be returning after this stunt. Let me tell you this. I literally said I think that it's Wes because I feel like Wes has shown his hand from his first season that he's thirsty. He's thirsty to be on this show. So I wouldn't put it past him that all of a sudden they have their own sort of scandal. And he wants to run with it, even if he is the bad guy. Shout out to all of you guys sending me transcripts. I love y'all for real. Everyone was sending it to me. We were all working together. Okay, but let me read it. Okay, hold on. Okay. Oh, you're right. Hold on. Latoya says, Kempire, hold the lives hostage till you get them likes. Let's get to 600 likes and then I'll read the transcript. Let's get to 600 and I will read the transcript from the Summer House Season 10 reunion. If you want to go and listen to the audio somewhere else, that's fine, but it's not going to be as dramatic as when I read it. Okay. Have we gotten there? Damn, we haven't gotten there yet. Lord have mercy. Let me say thank you because we had quite a few super chats as well. London Hall, thank you so much. Oh, London Hall, thank you so much for the super chat. London Hall says, funny how Amanda, we had to hide it because it was complicated since I was still married. Also, Amanda, I wasn't married anymore, Ciara, shaking my head. We will go through the transcript in just a second. Cece, thank you for another super chat. Cece says, I'm glad it was leaked because Bravo would have probably cut it dry trying to protect Amanda's whack ass. Exactly my thoughts, CC. That's exactly what I said in my short form video earlier today. Tish says, I sent it to you on Instagram. Thank you, Tish. Everybody's sending me stuff today. CC, thank you for another super chat. CC says, Levi did it because she knows she's not coming back. Who's Levi? Sandra, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support, guys. We're almost at 600 likes. Once we get to 600 likes, I will read the transcript of the situation of the Summer House audio leak. But before I get into the transcript, did you guys watch this week's episode of Summer House? This is all I have to say. Janelle says, also Jesse said on Watch What Happens Live that Wes would be combative at the reunion, so I wouldn't be surprised if Wes recorded to save face. He also said on Watch What Happens Live that they kept it a secret. When they were confronted by it, they kept on denying it. All right. Exactly. We got over 1,000 people. Thank you for 600 likes. All right. Let me just say this about this week's episode, because I could care less about the partying and everything else that's going on in this episode. Amanda, in this week's episode of Summer House, apparently was avoiding coming to the house. We're already starting to see trouble in the marriage between Amanda and Kyle. But what stood out to me, did you guys see that scene between Amanda and West? The timeline, I'm sure we're going to probably get a better understanding of the timeline of this relationship, but I don't know if I believe Amanda or Wes. And apparently they were caught in a compromising position, and that's why they had to come out and confirm their relationship. We will get to the transcript in a second. But their interaction was interesting. Again, watching this show, knowing that maybe this Amanda and Wes affair was happening during the summer, it makes you look at their behavior and their interactions differently. But what pissed me off this week, Ciara, please don't jump into another relationship. You need to heal. You need to work on yourself, because her trying to say she misses her best friend in West, and she says, I don't call anyone best friend that easily. Apparently you do. You just met this man 2 years ago and you were calling him a best friend. I don't call anyone best friend after 2 years, but that's me. That's me. You got some healing too. I hated watching this week their interactions. I also hated her crying for this man. I really feel like Wes doesn't care about Amanda, doesn't care about Sierra, doesn't want to have a relationship with either one of them. I think he wants to be famous, and he will do anything to save face. The same way I accused him of trying to jock block Jesse from hooking up with Sierra. I believe that he knew how everyone turned on him 2 years ago. And remember, like, he really hated that. And he still gets hate for it now. He said it during their conversation. He still gets hate for it. I think he saw how the season was going and how, oh gosh, everyone's going to hate me once they see that Sierra's upset. This girl and I hooked up, and she was sitting on my lap in front of Sierra. So he wanted to save face. So he wanted to have this scene with Sierra, make peace. And she's, I miss my best friend. He wasn't your best friend, Sierra. He was barely your friend. I think Sierra was in love with him. So she will do anything to justify feeling her feelings for him. You think I'm crying over a best friend like that of not even 2 years, because you guys weren't even talking like that the last 2 years. That's not your best friend. So I was a little frustrated with Sierra. I still want her to win. I still want her to get all the things. Don't get me wrong. But I was frustrated with her this week. Because I'm just like, why are you sitting over here crying for this man? And I get it. People were attacking her for getting played by this guy, Midwest. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm putting that all to the side, because no matter who it was, if it was a black man that did this to you, I'd be upset. Okay? So I didn't like this week's episode because I was frustrated, especially fast forwarding, knowing what we know about how Wes does her with her own good friend. But them having these conversations, I said this last week, I don't feel like Sierra was justified to feel upset about him hooking up with another girl. Should the girl sat in his lap next to her? Awkward, but this is Summer House. They're all hooking up with each other and with people. But I didn't feel like, I can't tell Sierra how to feel, because we all been there where we have feelings for someone. Maybe the person has feelings for us, or we broke up, whatever it may be, and we see them hooking up with other people and we feel away. She's entitled to feel away. The dramatics, though, for this show, I'm just like, Sierra, girl, he ain't worth all that. But then when you sit down and have a conversation with him at the end of this week's episode, and you're talking about how you miss your best friend, can we just be best friends again? No, Sierra, you're in love with this man. He was never your best friend. I think you blurred the lines of, I have feelings for this man, but he was also my friend. I don't believe he was your best friend. I know now he definitely wasn't your best friend, because you can you have a one-sided best friendship? Well, maybe. I know I've been more of a friend to certain people than they've been a friend to me, but that's me. Sierra, cut the ties. And I hope after this situation, she officially says, I'm done with him. But okay. So for those that may have missed it, last night, leaked audio of the Summer House reunion, which was filmed yesterday, leaked online. So I'm not going to play the audio because my attorney, Miss Esquire, unofficially said that I shouldn't, and I'm not going to. But if you want to hear it, you can hear it on TMZ. But I'm going to give you a play-by-play. This is where I wish I had a studio audience, because then we could take lines. But I'm going to play both parts. Okay? Shout out to Reddit. Shout out to Adventurous Revolt, who did a transcription of this. Okay? So I'm going to do this uninterrupted. Okay? I'm going to play this out. Sierra, you get to run amok, and because everyone is your friend. Lindsay, to be clear, Sierra says, and you get to manipulate people and say whatever you want to them. Kyle says, that's what Sierra then says, and get whatever you want from them. Kyle then says, and that's what's been so fraudulent. Kyle, shut up. Sorry. Sierra says, yeah. Sierra then says, it's literally your MO. Kyle says, it's like, look, it's like you tell yourself something so you can be at peace with the schmuck that you are, but everybody else has a complete different interpretation of the relationship with you. Huh? Huh? Okay. Mia then, can I just read Kyle's part again? Because I think that was so hilarious. Kyle says, it's like you tell yourself something so you can be at peace with the schmuck that you are, but everybody else has a complete different interpretation of the relationship with you. What? Mia says, also, Amanda, why are you doing this? Amanda says, what do you mean? Mia says, like, why? You went from being married, and I'm not saying your relationship was perfect. Amanda then says, it's definitely not. Mia then says, but you went from being married to being one of West Side bitches? That's crazy. That was a read. Good one, Amanda. They better keep that in, Amanda. They better keep that in, Amanda. That was a good one. Okay. So she says, you went from being married to being one of West Side bitches? That's crazy. Amanda's, okay. Mia says, this is unnecessary. Wes says, the statement came out incredibly rushed because of how insane it all became. Lindsay says, you got smoked out. Oh, not smoked out. Andy says, so why did you feel the need? Amanda says, no, because there was a video that was out there, and the last thing I wanted was for us to continue denying it, and for this video of me being taken in a very vulnerable, intimate situation. Hold on, wait a minute. What was this video? Were you slobbing the knob? Oh, damn. Wow. And for this video of me being taken in a very vulnerable, intimate situation to be used as blackmail or released publicly. Who or where? I need more details on this. Wait, huh? And he says, what was the video? Lindsay says, so how long have you been denying it? Okay, Lindsay asking the right questions. Amanda says, I don't know what the video was. Sierra says, and would you have even came to me if the video didn't come out? Amanda says, 1,000%. Sierra says, so what was the plan? KJ says, where was the apology for Sierra in that statement? Yes, KJ. Yes, KJ. Protect your sister. Where was the apology for Sierra in the statement? Sierra, because I asked you, because I sent you a text. Listen, I asked you when the rumors came out, is this true? And you were like, no. Amanda says, and I denied it. And Sierra says, you were like, me and Wes are just friends. Amanda, 100%, I denied it and I lied to you. Sierra, you denied it and you were like, duh, we are just best friends. Andy says, then why did you, damn, Andy can't get a word in. Amanda says, because it was all so new and I was figuring it all out. She says, there were so many layers and complications to this. The fact that he was seeing other people, the fact that I was technically still married. Okay. KJ says, is there not enough complications to go? What the F are we doing here? Sierra's right. Yeah. KJ says, period. Amanda says, we talked about it. Sierra says, so it was conscious that you guys talked about it. It wasn't just a drunk hookup. You guys talked about it. Amanda says, no, Sierra says, we all know. Amanda says, it all started with, Sierra says, how effing weird it would be, and you still did it. You chose to do it. You kept doing it, and you're hiding it. Amanda says, okay, guess what? Sometimes you can't help what you, oh no. Amanda says, okay, so guess what? Sometimes you can't help who you like or who you're attracted to. That is true, but you can control your behavior. You could be like, you know what? I'm attracted to this person and I need to pull back because of the complications that it has for me and my best friend. I would never trust Amanda around my man, including my gay man, if I had a boyfriend. I wouldn't trust her. She's, okay, so guess what? Sometimes you can't help who you like or who you're attracted to. Sierra says, you actually can help it. You can. Amanda says, not from what you've said. Sierra says, you actually can help it. Amanda says, not from what you said. Andy says, Andy can't get a word in edgewise, y'all. They say, Amanda's yelling at Sierra, I wasn't married anymore, Sierra. Sierra says, you're legally still married. By the state of New York, you're still effing married. Amanda says, I'm sorry, but when I'm separated from someone, I have to stay celibate and single for the rest of my life until the judge signs the paperwork. Girl, you've been separated how many months? Okay? You've been separated for how many months? Look, we understand. Look at Drew. She's been divorcing for 3 years. We could understand. But of all people for you to hook up with, Amanda, you hook up with Wes, and it seemed like it was a decision. It wasn't a drunken moment. So Amanda says, "I'm sorry, but when I'm separated from someone, I have to stay celibate," which I guess confirms that they've slept together, "and single for the rest of my life until the judge signs the paperwork." Ciara responds and says, "Nobody was saying that you needed to stay celibate or what the F ever, but there are a million other effing guys in New York City." But you chose that. Oh, wait. You chose one. Oh, you chose one that you know how much that effed me up, and you chose that the one guy. She brings up a valid point. I don't know why you would try and argue with a Capricorn. I would never argue with a Capricorn. Are there a lot of Capricorn lawyers? There should be. Okay. Anyway, I've digressed. Okay. I'm just going to read back to because Amanda's ridiculous. Amanda says, "I'm sorry, but when I'm separated from someone, I have to stay celibate and single for the rest of my life until the judge signs the paperwork." Ciara says, "Nobody was saying that you needed to stay celibate or what the F ever, but there are a million other effing guys in New York City. But you chose one that, and you know how much the one that effed me up, and you chose the one guy, your best friend's ex, that literally during the summer you saw that they were having like a rekindling or of something." So Amanda says, "I didn't choose. I didn't." Girl, Amanda. Ciara says, "Because you're an effing snake, Amanda. A snake in the effing grass is what you are." Amanda says, "That is okay." Wow. All right. So Ciara says, "You're an effing snake." She said, "You're a snake in the effing grass, and you should honestly just say okay because you are. You move silent, but you're effing deadly." So that's what Ciara says to Amanda. So Amanda just said, will annoy someone even more is when someone responds, "Okay." Oh, make you want to fight. Annie says, "When Ciara confronted you and said, 'Is this happening?' and you denied it." Okay, so they add an edit at the end. Shout out to Reddit for this. "Sorry, I made a mistake. It was good." Okay, blah, 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 blah. So that's where the audio cuts off. I can't play you the audio because Bravo's investigating, and I don't need the legal paperwork. Look, I don't need the legal paperwork. All right. Amanda R on YouTube says, "The voices are taking me out." Oh, it's a bunch of vocal fry, all of them. All right, moving on. So that's what's happening right now in the Bravo universe. Bravo did release a statement. The Summer House reunion audio leak represents a serious breach of trust and clear lack of respect for the cast, crew, and the integrity of the production process. We take this matter very seriously and have launched a full investigation and will take appropriate action based on our findings. You see how quickly they release a statement about this, but other things we still are waiting on a statement for? You know what I mean? But all right. Oh my goodness. So that Bravo's investigating. I told you I'm happy that the audio leaked. And I think my speculation, maybe someone from the cast leaked it because they were like, "Oh, watch them not want to include this in the reunion." So I'm glad it's out there. Look, I'm glad it's out there. And I'm glad that Ciara speaking up for herself. I'm glad that Mia had her back. I'm glad that KJ had her back. And I need Kyle to shut up. I'm sorry, Kyle. What was this? Let me read what Kyle said again to you guys. This is what Kyle said in the transcript, in the audio. Kyle says, "It's like you tell yourself something so you can be at peace with the schmuck that you are. But everybody else has a completely different interpretation of their relationship with you." I have read that multiple times during this live, y'all. I still have no idea what he's talking about. What is that? "It's like you tell yourself something so you can be at peace with the schmuck that you are, but everybody else has a complete different interpretation of the relationship with you." I can't help it. You can have your feelings about Leos. I think Leos don't mean any harm. But part of me was to just I would just pat him on the head like, "It's all right. It's all right. It's all right, Kyle." I've met Kyle. I told you guys, I've met Kyle. He's a lovely person. I know he has not been lovely on the show and he's not been great to Amanda. But what was that? It's like you tell yourself something so that you can be at peace with with the schmuck that you are, but everybody else has a complete different interpretation of their relationship with you. Huh? I don't. Sure says that he was talking to Wes. I assumed when he said schmuck, because I didn't think he was talking about Amanda. I'm like, okay, all right. Wes didn't say much. Wes didn't say much in this interaction. He doesn't say much at all. Wes is a snake. He is also a snake. He's underhanded. I think he is thirsty. And I wouldn't put it past him being one of the people leaking it to the press. I think he will do anything for attention, but I don't trust him. I don't trust him either. Anyway, so that's our summer house recap. That's all I had to say about the episode. That's all I had to say about the leaked audio. Bravo's investigating. They probably will find nothing. Anything could happen. It could have been someone on the stage. It could have been someone in the control room where they had the audio. I don't know. Latoya says, Kempire, I can't with your impressions. I have a good time. They're not very good, I don't think. But we had a good time. All right, let's move on. Let me see my notes, what I haven't covered before we get to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Oh, we can get right into Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Damn. I wish I had a lozenge in here because the amount of talking that I do during FRI-YAY Live, I need to keep like a lozenges in here. Deborah says Wes was the recording. That's why he didn't talk so much. That also makes me suspicious of Wes. Why he didn't talk so much. Right? Because he knew he was recording. He knew he was recording. Mocha says it was a guy. You could hear them snickering. Oh. Now I need to go back and listen to the audio. I have the audio. No, I don't. No, I don't. Wait. No, I don't. But TMZ has the audio. TMZ has the audio. All right. We've already talked about Drew and Ralph. If you missed it, guys, rewind. We already talked about Drew and Ralph. We talked about Kenya getting kicked out of her salon, her stuff on the corner of the street. If you missed it, we talked about it all. We've been busy. We've been live for an hour and 40-something minutes. Okay? All right. Moving on. All right. Let me rest my voice. Shout out to Hulu for sponsoring. Real talk. You live for reality TV. Every time it gets crazy, gets juicy, gets dramatic, and completely irresistible. And lucky for you, Hulu on Disney Plus does too, with the most unhinged and unmatched library of shows. Period. Turn on larger-than-life docusoaps like Season 4 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and the hit new series Love Thy Nader, featuring superstar model Brooks Nader and her sisters. Obsess over the seasons of iconic dating shows like Love Island UK and Farmer Wants a Wife. Get hooked on irresistible food competitions like MasterChef. Dive into hit game shows like Celebrity Family Feud and revel in show-stopping fashion competitions, including the one and only Project Runway. Whatever it is you're into, Hulu has it all. No filler, no fluff, just thousands of episodes of the very best in reality TV. Every single day. Because Hulu gets real. Stream now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. And we're back. Thank you to Hulu for sponsoring today's FRI-YAY Live. We'll be adding the timestamps a little bit later on this evening or tomorrow. Y'all bear with me, okay? You can also hear our live recaps and special episodes in a cleaned up, edited version on the Kempire podcast. Subscribe today. And for everything Kempire, be sure to check out the description, including our merch. You guys have been asking for the Are You Okay merch, and including the mugs. The mugs are now available at houseofkempire.com. That's HAUS of Kempire.com. Shout out to our King Scars for holding us down in the live chat. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Part 1 reunion. I don't know if you guys realize this, but they did put an extended, uncensored version of the reunion on Peacock. They're not paying me, but if y'all want to come over here, pay me. Hulu was paying me. Okay, so you can too, Peacock. All right. Chris says, I love me some Hulu. Me too. I've been watching so much Hulu stuff this last week. Oh, wait. Janelle's got some information before we get into Beverly Hills. Janelle says, hold on. Janelle, let me save this. Let me save this one. Janelle says, Bravo can sue in a civil lawsuit if the person was paid for the leak if they signed an NDA, but they can't sue for the person recording and possibly leaking without payment. Janelle says, per New York state law, whoever recorded the audio is protected because New York is a one-party recording state where the opposing party in the meeting doesn't need to know you're recording them. Good to know. All right. Mora Sakino or Mora. Thank you so much for the super chat. Mora says pesticide and Mandy, not pesticide, came ready to fight. Claire, thank you so much for the super chat. Claire says, I feel like Amanda and Kyle have been faking their relationship for years for the show. I think they were over it last summer, but they wanted to unveil it carefully because they got a new show. Oh, that's a interesting take. Thank you so much, Claire, for the super chat. So Swift, thank you so much for the super chat. So Swift says, it sounded like a guy to me on the recording too. Glad I made this live cam. Me too. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the super chat. All right, let's get into our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap, guys. If you had to rate the reunion, part 1, I still don't think that this reunion needs to be 3 parts, even based off of part 1. But if you had to rate the reunion part 1 from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? I was engaged. I have a lot of thoughts. I would probably give it a 6.5. I still don't think it needs 3 parts because they're already alluding to the beef between Kyle and Dorit. All right, so let's start at the top. Oh, we love to react to the reunion outfits, and does the reunion look better in movement? I will say this, in a picture, Amanda's dress does not look great. But when Amanda sat down, I was like, this is actually a pretty dress. I don't think the picture does its justice. Her hair and makeup definitely was a lot better. I wish she did more with her hair. But I have to say, I actually like the dress more in person. Rachel Zoe's dress was still pretty. I don't love it. It's still very much Rachel Zoe giving us. Y'all notice during the reunion, during Rachel's package, it came and gone. Very much like Rachel this season. I think a lot of people were excited for Rachel, and I think she had a decent first season. But at the same time, it's like we did her package and then it was done. But okay. Back to the reunion looks. Erica still looked great. I have to say, I loved Erica's look. Hair, makeup, dress, gorgeous, bodying. This was a great reunion look for her. She's definitely probably like my best dress. Yeah, she's my best dress. Ultima looked good. I have to say, in person, the dress fell a little flat for me. In the picture, it looked better, but in person, the dress fell just a little bit. I still like it. It just wasn't as impressive in real life. But she said it was like 70-something pounds, so understandable. Dorit was giving blah. I don't get the arm jewelry. The dress is just okay. Kathy's just a friend of, so I'm going to leave her alone. Kyle, look, you notice how usually during a season, something major happened, and that usually is the theme for the reunion. They didn't have anything major happen, so they just had to do a Beverly Hills scene. Okay? Okay. I have to say, Sutton actually looked really pretty in person, too. The dress in person looked really good. The hair and everything looked really good. Jennifer Tilly, we didn't get to see in part 1. We'll see her in part 2, but I think she definitely had one of the best dress, too. So, did it change, guys? Did it change for you guys in seeing the reunion looks in person and movement? Chris says, Tilly is my standout fabulous dress. Yeah. All right. Ooh, Chris says that Kyle's looks boring. Hair, complete fail. Hamida says, I liked Bo's dress in person. Chris says, Dorit is boring. Okay. All right, so let me get to this. So Andy celebrates the fact that Kyle is the longest standing housewife across all the cities that used to be held by Candy Burris until she left. Now Kyle is the only one. But here's the thing. Everyone was like, oh, that's amazing. They were all clapping for her. And I'm thinking to myself, that would be amazing if Kyle was still likable. If Kyle was still bringing it in regards to, like, in her 15th season, she's still a part of it. She's still doing all the things. Kyle has been a part of this because you guys keep forcing her on us. If it was up to us, Kyle would have been gone a long time ago. And maybe returned at some particular point. But Kyle would have been gone a long time ago. But fine. Erica, when Andy asked if there's any hope for resolving things at this reunion, Erica's the only one to say, I have no hope that things will be resolved. I was surprised by that, and it made me wonder, like, why did you not have any hope that things would be resolved? Maybe we'll have a better understanding based off of how the reunion goes and what gripes Erica has against Dorit, because she says she doesn't have any hope. So they go into Rachel Zoe's package. And as I said to you before, I was like, we went to Rachel's package and then we were done. So we'll briefly talk about it and move on because we have plenty more to talk about. Okay, sidebar. When Rachel Zoe was talking about her divorce, Bose reached out to her and she was holding her hand. Did y'all feel like that hand holding was a little too long? And they kept on showing it too. Production kept on showing just their two hands holding. I was like, what is going on right now? But all right. Rachel says that there was a lot that she didn't say because they were asking, did she regret some of the things that she said during the show about Roger? And had Roger been unhappy about some of the things that she said? And she said he's seen clips and yeah. But she said there was so much happening this summer that he should be happy that I didn't say more, that there's a lot more that she could have said. Maybe there is, because I don't know if we ever got to the bottom of what really happened. Why they ended up getting divorced. Did he cheat? I don't know. But then part of me, if so much more happened, what did you hold back? Because what you gave us was like performative. When she filed for divorce, she's, oh my gosh, guys, my divorce is going viral. My divorce is going viral. You know how she loves to be on her phone? Like even in the moment when people are talking, my divorce is going viral. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. The kids are going to see it. Oh my God. Did you see? It's on page 6. It's on this. It's on that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Are you okay? Oh my gosh. My divorce is going viral. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. The kid met his girlfriend. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so upset. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. It's like everywhere. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I can't believe this. Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? But fine. So she says that the divorce will be resolved really soon. And I'm like, okay. I was surprised by that because wasn't he a part of her business? So maybe they're finalizing those things. Maybe she's just going to give him what he needs in regards to this. I don't know what he's asking for. But wasn't he like a partner in her business? And she's got a lot of stuff. I just realized I have a Rachel Zoe throw. I was like, oh yeah, Rachel's in all the things. Exactly. Wayoki says, Rachel does talk like a College Valley girl. She does. Exactly. Oh, I died. I forgot that. Oh my gosh. I died. My divorce is everywhere. I died. Are you okay? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so Andy asked Rachel if she had a relationship with Roger's new girlfriend. And everyone's, Andy, really? I think it was a good question. Do you have a relationship? Because she's going to be around your kids, even if you don't like it. And I did see that the girlfriend did speak out after Rachel took some shots at her during the season finale. And I'm here for the woman to come out and speak out because she was taking subtle digs at her all season. All right. Is Rachel dating? Apparently she was photographed with this guy, Sasha, on the red carpet. And apparently he might be in a similar business as Amanda. And even then, when asked about it, she was trying to describe what he does for work, which is interesting. When you're not able to define what he does for work, and you guys have been trying to define what Amanda does for work this entire season, I don't understand why she has to define anything to you guys. And I felt like we got a better description of what Amanda does for work than what Sasha does for work. When he does some more things like with alignment of the chakras and this and to this point, I have no idea what he does. No idea. And she's, I'm not a client, but fine. So we move on from Rachel's package to Erica's package, which honestly, Erica's package and segment was far more interesting than Rachel's. Even though half the stuff they talked about in this package really wasn't anything they talked about during the season. Did anyone else notice that? I was like, yeah, I barely talked about any of this during the season, but okay. So Erica talks about the abuse that she experienced. And remember, TMZ reported, apparently, was it her trainer or it was a black guy that I guess apparently she was intimate with in some shape or form that refused to leave her home and she ended up calling the police. I think that was the guy that she was talking to about being abusive towards her. So she talks about that and she says it triggered some of the other abuses that she's gone through in her life. And Andy asked her, do you think that you were emotionally abused by Tom Girardi? And she says, yeah. She says she was always walking on thin ice with Tom. She says not only was he emotionally abusive, she also felt like he was financially abusive. I could see that. Because look at all of his victims. If anything, she should be able to relate to the victims that she called alleged victims and had no remorse for. Because they were financially abused by your estranged husband. She then talks about Tom at one particular point didn't talk to her for 6 weeks. She wonders how much of Tom's doting on the show was an act. She says that Tom never saw her on Broadway, and Sutton had pointed that out. She thought that was weird, and how he didn't read the book, and how she would make excuses for Tom. He's a busy man, blah, blah, blah. No one's read my book. So Andy says, if there's one question that you could ask Tom, what would it be? And before she answered it, because that's when they went to a commercial break, before she answered it, I said to myself, where's the money? That was my question. But her question was like, why? But I saw her wheels turning, and I wonder if that was one of the wheels. Because I know she probably knows that he has money hidden somewhere. Someone that moves like Tom Girardi, you're not telling me that that money really is all gone. I think Tom has money hidden. I don't know whether or not Erica knows anything about that, but I feel like that would be the question. And honestly, the way she could have cleaned that up was, I'd be like, where's the money for all the people that you robbed? That's a fact. We're not arguing the fact that Tom Girardi robbed his clients. But again, here's a moment where she's not thinking about anyone besides herself. Because my first question was like, where's the money? And she could clean it up to make it seem like she cares about people. And saying, where's the money for the people that you owe that are now coming for me? That would be my question. Where is the money so that we can return it to the people so they can leave me alone? But look, she just says, why? That would be my question to him. Why? Erica and Dorit then start talking about their issues. And because Dorit claimed that she didn't know that Erica was going through anything. And everyone knows, including us, know that Erica is going through something. Okay? Especially with her $25 million lawsuit that's happening this month. They go back and forth, and Dorit says that she tries to break. Here's the thing. If you see the extended, unedited version versus the Bravo version of this reunion, Bose is very quiet. Do you notice how Bose was quiet during the arguments with Erica and Kyle before, during the season? At the reunion, it's very similar. The only time we really hear from Bose is not until the end of the reunion, of part 1 of the reunion. In the unedited version, you see a little bit more of Bose, but for the most part, Bose really is not trying to get involved. Because at one particular point, Dorit tries to bring Bose into her argument with Erica, and Bose says, I don't think I was a part of that question. Oh. And you can see Dorit's just, oh, okay. Because then later on, Dorit's just like, I don't want to involve Bose. But Bose is just, I don't think I was a part of that question. And everyone just starts laughing. She doesn't want it to be involved. So then, because they're going to talk more about the downfall of the relationship between Erica and Kyle and Dorit, so they go back to Erica's storyline. And she talks about her new boyfriend, Shrek, a.k.a. G.I. John. And Andy asks whether or not her son, who's a police officer, has seen or has met John, and he has. And he's, of course, he loves him because that's like G.I. Joe to him. Okay. So her son, who we haven't seen on the show, loves her new boyfriend, who we saw briefly on the show on FaceTime. He's in the phone. All right. So then, because this is what production is going to do. They're going to give us a little bit of the Kyle versus Dorit in part 1, part 2, and then the climax will be at the end. So they're going to drag out this issue between Dorit and Kyle and Erica until the end of the reunion. This is how they're going to drag it out for 3 reunions. Okay? 3-part reunion. All right. So then they started talking about some of the things that Dorit and Kyle have been going through this season. So Dorit believes that Kyle was relaying information to Mauricio, who would relay information to PK. And she was just like, what proof do you have that I was doing that? And Dorit, here's the thing. Please understand, it's going to sound like I'm defending Kyle, but I'm not. I just can't defend Dorit because go back to that conversation that she had with Mauricio. That's where I looked at Dorit a little different. I was like, Dorit, I think you might be lying to us. I don't think PK is the pinnacle of truth. But when Mauricio's like, I've seen proof. I've actually seen the text message exchange between you and PK, and he's saying this and this, and she had no response. Remember that conversation during the season? She really had no response. And I was just like, that's suspicious. That's weird. So I had to remind myself of that conversation and remind myself because I can't take what Dorit says at face value. The same way I told you what she was going to say when her home went to pre-foreclosure again. She was giving that same response, but you saw how she tried to clean it up. This time around, she's, oh, I know that I should have a better understanding, and I probably should have, after the last time, that I should be paying attention. Girl. So she accuses Kyle of relaying information to Mauricio. Do I think she's relaying information to Mauricio? Yeah, I do. I do. But Dorit not having any sort of solid information that she could have been relaying to PK that would land as, oh, Kyle, you had to be the one to tell this. But we have to keep in mind, too, PK, Mauricio, all of them have relationships with production. You're not telling me that they don't hear things. They all have filmed. They've been on the show for years. They all have relationships with production. I wouldn't be surprised if he could get information that way. She's claiming that PK was like, oh, I hear you're filming this season. You're having a rough season, blah, 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 blah. Kyle's not the only person that can relay that information to PK, if we're being honest. Not me defending Kyle, but here we are. Exactly. OMG Steph says, I'm not a Kyle fan, but we always have to give the disclaimer. Oh, and Kivia says, oh, there's also Boy George. You know what? Kivia says, I'm not a Kyle fan, but in this case, Dorit is doing too much. I can't defend Dorit in this situation. And Chris says, I have no dog in this fight. I neither Dorit nor Kyle. I will agree with this. Kyle says, I will not continue to defend my character. And I can understand that because that is a pretty damning claim to say that I'm talking to your ex-husband about things that you're saying and doing during the show, during filming of the show.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Myra says, I don't like any of them, so... Oh, everyone's on the same page in regards to this. Let me take a sip, y'all. Can y'all hear my voice? Adam says Dorit is going for broke and it's coming out of her pores of emotions. Damn. Wow. Wowza. I can't believe it's 4 o'clock. Where did the time go? OMG. All right. So they're going back and forth. Do y'all notice how Rachel was trying to defend Dorit? We already knew that she was more Team Dorit than she was anyone else on the show. But I found it interesting her trying to defend Dorit. But they flash back because we have to keep in mind, too, Kyle did apologize to Dorit for saying that she had the OCD or being erratic for her spending and how she's been acting. But then I would have to say this. I feel like Andy Cohen was showing some favoritism to Erica and Kyle during the reunion. Did anyone notice that? I did feel like, or he just doesn't like Dorit and he feels like Dorit is long-winded and he's just like, because I felt like he kept on defending them against Dorit. So I was like, that was interesting. But anyway, they flash back and they show a moment between Rachel and Kyle where I was so upset with Dorit because she disappeared. I didn't know where she was. And apparently she was in this smoking session for 45 minutes at the club in the Hamptons. But to me, that receipt as to Dorit being different and everyone else having issues with Dorit being different or erratic or whatever it may be, that didn't land for me. I didn't feel like that moment that they flashed back to signified Dorit being different, Dorit being erratic, Dorit having some sort of issue. I was like, is that supposed to be a receipt? Because that doesn't confirm for me that Rachel felt like Dorit was being erratic or different. The lateness doesn't land for me either because she's always been late. But that's also a character thing for me when it comes to her being late. This is why it's hard for me to defend Dorit, because if you're so disrespectful of people's time, and that already tells me the type of friend that you are. Because if you're so disrespectful of people's time and people have told you countless times that you do this and you still do it, I'm going to believe Erica when you're not checking in on me. I'm going to believe Kyle when you're not checking in on me. You're not wondering what's going on with me, my life, my divorce, or really care about it. You can't even care enough about our time So that's why it doesn't land for me that Dorit's a good friend. And I already told you this. I think it was last week we were talking about this. I don't remember where I was, or maybe I was during our recap. And I said, I feel like we see, no matter how you feel about Kyle has a group of girlfriends. We never see Dorit with a group of girlfriends. And the first time we see Dorit with a group of girlfriends, it's with Bose. And that doesn't even feel authentic. So I'm paying attention to the things that they're not talking about. I'm paying attention to what we see. And I'm just like, Kyle has a group of good girlfriends. Dorit doesn't. And she could just be a homebody. I heard that she is a homebody. But that don't mean anything. You still got a group of girlfriends or people that, like, I don't even feel like the girlfriend friendship between her and Bose is real. Literally in this moment, you're trying to pull Bose in to have your back. And Bose, my name is Bennett and I'm not in it. Damn, Mr. Melon Magic said, I would trust O.J. Simpson with my knife collection before I trust Dorit with finances. Damn. Okay. Let's talk about her finances because Dorit said that she wanted to support Rachel's friend when they were out in the Hamptons and she spent the $4,000. It doesn't land the same when Dorit says in this moment, I can afford to spend $4,000. Apparently you can't. You owe nearly $1 million in mortgage payments. And no matter what she says, oh, I didn't know about it. So you can't afford. You think in this moment you can afford, but you can't afford to spend $4,000. Yes, it's proper etiquette. You go to a store and they've closed the store for you and you're shopping, you're filming, whatever. You should buy something. That's why we remember when they were it was a Dolce & Gabbana store and Sutton had them close it down. It was her, Tilly, and Bose. And did Bose buy anything? My thing is, when they close down a shop for you like that, you should buy something, even if it's something small. But anyway, I can't tell people how to spend their money. She had an engagement ring to buy, a house to buy, and a wedding to pay for. Right, Bose? So she said, I can afford it. And then Kyle's just, we are not in the same financial position. That was a quiet, slow, but rich read. And I don't care how y'all feel about Kyle. You need to give tens on that one. That was a good read. She said, we are not in the same financial position. That was actually landed better than the wallet. When Sutton was comparing wallet sizes, I was like, no, that's how you do it. Right there where Kyle says, we are not in the same financial position. I was like, you're right. In a multitude of ways. We are not in the same financial position. And here's the thing. Say what you want about Kyle. Even though she's married to Mauricio, she's always worked. She's always had something. She's acting. She's got products. She had the store. Kyle has her own money that she's been working. And she probably makes a cute coin. Probably a couple of $1 million, if not nearly $3 million on Bravo's, on Real Housewives. Kyle is okay, and she says she owns half of the agency, so she's even more okay. Singer DSC says Kyle gives 2 points for that. Oh, Mr. Esquire says that Kyle did the same thing Sutton did last season. Big bank, take little bank. Not stupid, 2006 1 says, and Bose was quiet, but she came for Sutton. That's true. Good point. It's important to point these things out. It's important to point these things out. I've noticed that Bose has been very quiet. Very quiet. Rochelle says that Kyle's read was great. Also having Erica backing it up in the background, it was too funny. Because Erica points out in this situation, you spending $4,000 and your home is in pre-foreclosure. So Erica was in there. I heard when Erica said that. So she brings it before the pre-foreclosure. Dorit says that PK has agreed to bring the mortgage to current and that she plans to sell the home. She could sell that home. I don't think they're going to get anything from it because they have so many loans on it. So Dorit then brings up what Amanda said. She says, oh, and you said that I outsourced my well-being to a man and it didn't end well. Amanda's so nonchalant with her stuff. Amanda didn't do great during this reunion. I'm not going to give Amanda a lot for this reunion. She didn't do great. I don't think she's great at defending herself. And she's had to defend herself a lot this season. she's a little too nonchalant for Housewives. It's not interesting. It's not entertaining to see her clap back, but I can appreciate it at the same time because you're not going to see her sweat. You could be like, ah, and she's just, I'm sorry. That's how you feel, but that's just not me. I can appreciate that because people are going to lose their minds at that sort of reaction. So Dorit brings up what Amanda said because she doesn't want to focus on the pre-foreclosure. And again, she made excuses for the pre-foreclosure. I know I probably should have kept a better eye, especially after the first time, but he's agreed that he's going to bring it to current. And Eric was like, but what if he doesn't? What are you going to do? She brought up a valid point. Anyway, Dorit brings up what Amanda said. You outsourced your well-being to a man and it didn't end well for you. And she's like, when I met PK, Amanda, when I met PK, he was bankrupt. Here's the thing, though. Amanda wasn't wrong because no matter what, at some particular point during the marriage, you decided that I'm not going to work anymore. And you put all your trust and finances into PK. Because it'd be different if you met him when you were bankrupt, you were working, blah, 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 and you were still very much involved in the finances. There have been multiple accusations. There's an IRS bill. There's him being sued. There's the pre-foreclosures, plural. So you did outsource your well-being to a man, and it didn't end well for you. So what she said was a fact. It didn't end well for you. You did. I know it came across, oh, you were just some doting wife and you married someone super rich. No, what she said was accurate. You outsourced your well-being to a man, which you did. Clearly, you gave us a perfect example with the pre-foreclosure, and it didn't end well for you. Period. Speaking of Amanda, then they move into Amanda's package. Okay? Amanda, I have to say something. I feel like she should have taken the advice that they were giving her about her relationship because and here's the thing, I'm surprised her being neurodivergent didn't come up during the reunion because that might be the reason why she interacts with them the way that she's interacting with them. Okay? I do think she should have owned and took some accountability. I'm like, you guys, you might be right. You all have been married, divorced. You probably know better than me. Maybe.
That's really upsetting to me, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't say that.
That would have been slick shade if she had done it that way. But I do think that she should listen to them. I agree with them that some of the things that she's saying, although he's right now saying, oh, I don't care, whatever. It is a fact. You did buy the house and we renovated it together. These little emasculating things that you're saying will build resentment. And I think that's what the women were trying to convey to her, and she just wasn't getting it. And again, it could be the neurodivergence. I don't know. But I do feel like in that moment, if she had taken some accountability, we could have moved on. But then they start talking about the expensive things that she has, the luxury items that she has. Apparently in Sedona, she told the cameraman to get a picture of her Chanel bag. And Erica, it doesn't land for me when you're like, you don't lead with that. You don't lead with that. That's not what this show is. I thought this was a show about women and they're cool-ish. And but you don't lead with that. Erica, please. I get what Erica was trying to say, but Erica, you all lead with that. We're grown women. You of all people, Jennifer Tilly, and you're already sizing up all her expensive items and things like that. You all lead with that. So it doesn't land for me that you guys are judging Amanda about her luxury items and things like that. Yes, it was tacky, but she's right. This is a show where you guys have been doing it. Dorit was doing this for years. Amanda just doesn't do it well. Okay? All right. Moving on from there. So she brings that up, Amanda. Oh, yeah, okay. Then at the end of this reunion, so this is the end of part one. At the end of this reunion, okay, before I get to the end, I am going to drop the call-in link for quick callers. We're not going to be here long just because I've been talking for a long time. But if you are a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call-in link for you guys that want to weigh in on any of the hot topics that we talked about today. We talked about a lot. So I am going to drop the call-in link for, I don't have a call-in link. Damn, I forgot. So I can't do call-in links today. Sorry, y'all. Next time. Next time, maybe at the end of part 3, we'll do call-ins. I've been here already over 2 hours. Let me get to the end of this. I forgot to set up a call-in link. I could set one up, but I don't feel like it. All right. All right. Let me say oh, guys, we're almost at 800 likes. Can we get to 800 likes? Gata, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Gata says, more voiceovers, please. Love it. We need more dramas like this in transcripts, okay? We need more drama in transcripts. Valid point, Tish. Tish says, I don't know. Men brag about being the breadwinner all the time without considering their wife's feelings. Very valid. Thank you for pointing it out. You're right. If we had a situation like this, I wonder how we would feel. I feel like if Mauricio has said, oh, I bought the house, I'm the one who bought the house, I think we would point it out, at least us as a community. We would point out, like, why you got to say that he bought the house? I'll tell you this, my stretchologist, I guess is what you call him, when he talks about his family, he says, oh, my dad's house. And I'm like, it's your mama's house too. I'm sure she's paying that mortgage too. It's not just his house. Just saying, but you're right. Patriarchy. Okay. Oh, all right. All right. Thank you, Miriam. Miriam says, it's expensive to me, but we don't lead with that. Exactly. Like you have a whole song, Erica. It's expensive to be me. Look, okay. And here's the thing. Amanda's not that quick. Because that would be one of the first things that I would say. But y'all don't lead with that. You have a whole song called It's Expensive to Be Me. Really? I think because Erica now has been humbled, she feels like she's one of the regular folks. Girl, you're not. All right. Okay. Hold on. Give Me Shelter says, wrong, Kempire. Boomer X advice was garbage. Divorcing women, especially one who aired their husband's dirty laundry on TV, can't give me advice? How about you're wrong in regards to your edit here? Just saying. All right. Back to this. So the end of the reunion has this moment between Bozema. This is like the only moment. Oh, wait, sidebar. Let me rewind, because there was another moment in the extended version between Bozema and Kyle, because Erica said, because Andy talked about how Amanda had a rough season. Sometimes it's hard joining this group, blah, blah, blah. And they talk about how whether or not the group is welcoming or not. And Erica said, Kyle's usually an ambassador for the group. And we definitely saw Kyle try to be that for Amanda. And they joked that Bose might disagree. And she was just like, and then Kyle was just like, I was nothing but nice to you, Bose, when you joined the group. And Bose pointed out, like, oh, I did say that you were a bit cold, but was she not welcoming? Because being cold and not being welcoming are two different things when you think about it. You can still be welcoming in regards to a group, but still standoffish because I'm not answering, and I'm not pouring my soul out to you like Dorit did to you. There was a moment in the extended version where they talk about that. And Kyle gets a little defensive with Bose about Bose making it seem like, oh, she wasn't welcoming to her when she joined the group. Then we had this moment at the end of the reunion between Amanda and Bose and their businesses. And I got people so upset on X, hey X, because I said, not Bose getting caught in another lie.
Lies, the lie.
Because Bose claims that she never said something to Amanda about her business not doing well. Specifically, her workshops not doing well. Because Bose has other business. She had the bundles business that they didn't talk about at all this season. So she says that I never said that. Let me play the clip for you. We're going to play this on the fair use. I'm going to stop and go because Bravo's probably feeling very litigious right now.
All right, Amanda, you did an interview where you said Bose tried to create a personal development brand. It did not go well. She's losing money on her courses. She told me so.
Let's talk about this. Because when in the hell did I tell you that I was losing money on my business? That is crazy.
In the vineyard.
Girl, I did not tell you that. Why would I have told you that?
Because
let's consider our relationship at...
My thing is, Bose, very much like during the season, Bose came ready for this Amanda Upito because she, remember, there have been a couple of times she's been caught out there and she's gone to social media to justify or explain or give more context to something that's played out during the season. Remember, we called her out at the top of the season because it felt like she was already coming for Amanda when Amanda talked about her stepchildren, but she didn't refer to them as her stepchildren, and Bose made a big deal about it. Remember that? I know that felt like so long ago. And then the whole mass situation in Italy, and now this situation in Italy.
That point. Let's pretend for 1 second that I was losing money, which I'm not. Why would
She's now claims that she's not losing money. Wait till y'all hear the clip from when they're in Italy.
I confide that in you?
It wasn't a confiding moment. It was essentially saying, if I'm losing money on courses, there's no way you can be making money on courses and not be doing something wrong.
That doesn't make any sense, Amanda.
That's what you said.
It's not what I said.
I think they have it on camera.
And they don't, because I didn't say that.
Boom. They don't have it on camera because I didn't say that. Then they flash back.
The online workshopping, that's not what I do for work. You know what I mean?
But I'm so curious about it because we have the interlap. Yeah, you said I don't need to make money from this.
I don't. I lose money on it.
She says, I lose money on this workshop. We've talked about the workshop before. A workshop that includes manifestation, by the way. We talked about this. And she charges, I think the most on her workshop, she charges like I have it in front of me. On her workshop, the Badass Workshop, she charges $50 for the Urgent Life, the Badass Workshop for $100, the Badass Workshop for all 5 sessions, level 2 for $150. The whole damn thing, the Badass Workshop, $250. Okay? We went through this in regards to her workshop.
Yeah.
But that's okay with me because that's the choice I made.
She said that's okay with her losing money. Okay? So she admits in this, and it's caught on camera, this is what she said. Hold on. She explains further what this workshop that she has is.
And additionally, I'll just let you know, because I do need to clarify this comparison between our online courses. You have an online business. I don't have an online business. I have a teaching course based on a class I taught at Harvard for 3 semesters. It gives people the opportunity to understand the keys I did not have as a business person so that they understand how to negotiate for a better raise, ask for more promotions. They understand how to present in a boardroom. And so for me, it's not about making money. My point is that my class is to open the door for people who can't go to Harvard.
It's not about making money, but she charges you for it. Okay.
You are promoting your businesses and setting up your margins so you can be...
Sidebar, Harvard does offer different courses for free that you can do online. I did one course. I forgot what it's called. I got a certificate for it.
Rich as Yeah, that is not my intention.
It's a charitable venture.
Absolutely.
It's a charitable venture. Okay. But she charges you for it. And I know there's certain things for charity. Sometimes you charge for things in order to pay for other things. But here's the thing. She says she's losing money on it. Okay. I think that Bose was caught out there yet again. I don't think this was a charitable thing. I think Bose, I told you, I feel like Bose came on this show because she wanted to launch a big sort of like workshop thing. She's already doing these in-person things. She wanted to be able to get this audience, this largely female audience, as a part of people buying her workshop. That I'm gonna stand by. I'm not a huge Amanda fan, but they've been coming for Amanda this entire season, and it just keeps working out in Amanda's favor. And I think that's just people's karma. I think that's their karma. This is why it keeps ending up in Amanda's favor. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We have over 1,600 of you here watching for the last 2.5 hours, and we haven't gotten to 1,000 likes? Where'd they do that at? Apparently here. P. Minx, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. P. Minx says, I don't think Amanda should take advice from them. They are, you know the slick shade I gave him before? She says, I don't think Amanda should take advice from them. They are all divorced, and yet they didn't emasculate their men. Rachel's saying her ex would be mad, and yet he's her ex. No formula for marriage. And that would have been a perfect clapback for Amanda, and she didn't take that. That was so obvious. You're the only one on this stage that's married. You're happily married. I would be like, I know you guys are giving me advice about marriage, but which one of you guys are happily married right now? And just like that. And when people are like, let me tell you about it, and then be like, you're welcome. That would have been a perfect clapback, and she did not take that opportunity. Maybe it was edited out, but I don't think so. I think they would have kept that in. Way of Keith, thank you so much for another super chat. Way of Keith says, I would ask for Giselle for fashion advice before I ask them for marriage advice. It's always the ones that have nothing that want to give everything. It's so crazy to me. I know Garcelle's probably somewhere, because I know she's probably heard like how the season's going. I know I left at the perfect time. Because anytime you leave a job, yeah, you don't really want people to fail. But at the same time, it's sweet when they do, though. Like, you weren't wishing it on them, but when they do, you're like, oh, guess you did need me. JG, thank you so much for the super chat. JG says, did y'all see Kenya's stuff being put on the curb? I would be overwhelmed. It's so much. I hope it's a safe area. Well, JG, you missed it. We did report on that, and we reported that apparently someone that was there, they said that police were protecting the items. And apparently, allegedly, Kenya's off in South Korea having a good old time with Brooklyn. Oh, no. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the legal advice. Thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Miss Esquire says, I want to see the 501c3 filing. I know a tax scheme when I see it. Sure, you are okay losing money. Losing money yet on the business. Look. Valid points. I think she's had enough time to come up with some sort of excuse since that information came out, since she did the interview with Carlos. So I think that was her response. And I think she wanted to drop the fact that, oh, this was a Harvard course and I wanted to make it available to people that can't afford it. But they still have to pay for it. Just saying. And some people will say, no, they're not paying the Harvard prices. Harvard offers a multitude of free courses online. You should go check them out, y'all. Yep. Look, yup. Look, yup. All right. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats, the Venmos, the Cash Apps. I appreciate your support. Don't forget, it is Taurus season. If you have a birthday coming up and you want a birthday shout out from a fellow Taurus, book me on Cameo. Information will be available in the description. OMG Steph, thank you so much for the super chat. OMG Steph says, they also proved Amanda right when Rachel claimed that she said that she belonged in every room. Producers came with the receipts. That's true too. I didn't even talk about the Amanda versus Rachel of it all, because here's the thing. I think Rachel Bowes, all of them have gotten backlash for them ganging up on Amanda all season. And they just leaned in to trying to justify it because of Amanda not being likable to some people in the audience. And it didn't land for me during the reunion. I got where Amanda was coming from. I wish that she talked about her being neurodivergent during reunion, and maybe she does later on, because then it would make sense why they just don't get her when she tries to explain things. But all right. All right, thanks OMG Steph for the super chat. I appreciate you guys. We're almost at 900 likes. Can we get to 900 likes, y'all? Can we get to 900 likes? Oh, Okemia says all the Ivy Leagues provide the free courses, right? Kai says, Kempire, did you see Pinky Cole got an interview with Angela Yee? Anytime they're here promoting RHOA, they all stop by Angela Yee's. Was there anything new that came out of it? Singer DST says, I like Garcelle on the show. Me too. All right. IS says, the lightning strikes kill me. You're welcome. I just gave you an Amanda Francis welcome. You're welcome. Amanda is leaning into the whole cult narrative that they were doing, because she did like a whole video talking about, I'm Amanda and welcome to my cult. Are you serious? Jason Hernandez says, hey Kempire, apparently Britt Eady drove by and reacted to Kenya's salon eviction. Lord, I'm blocked, so can y'all find me the Instagram store? Yeah, Britt Eady blocked me too. I don't know what I said to Britt Eady, but fine. I'm okay with you blocking me, girl. Look, girl. All right, moving on. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to go rest my voice for the rest of the day. This was a fantastic FRI-YAY live. I'll be adding the timestamps either later on today or tomorrow. I think it's a great show from beginning to end. Just saying. So shout out to the replay crew. Let me know where you're watching from, your thoughts on the Summer House audio being leaked. I just gave you a whole play-by-play of it all. Thank you to everyone that sent me the transcript. We talked about Ladies of London. We talked about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion, part 1. We also talked about the David investigation and the latest update, the autopsy, and what they found on one of his iClouds. We talked about some of our flunkies of the week. We talked about a lot. So be sure to check it out here during our Friday Live. You can also hear it, a cleaned up, edited version on the Kempire podcast. Be sure to subscribe today and be sure to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers and those of you watching in the bushes. And if you're not subscribed, get subscribed because you're missing out. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, because I'm live there. I'm doing all kinds of different content on different platforms. Everything is The Kempire on Facebook. Shout out to everyone watching on Facebook. We see you. Thank you so much for everyone. The 868 of you that liked. Shout out to the 1,600 of you that watched, though. Just saying. Oh, I forgot to talk about the Emma Grede stuff. I'm not going anywhere. Please hold. Please hold. We're not going anywhere. Thank you so much, Dainty Jessie, for reminding me. See, there's so much I forget. This is why I can't. All right. Let's talk about this. I can make this quick. Shout out to allegedly Stephanie, who's been here on the channel. She's an attorney. Aries, Jamaican. Okay? She did a really great video, and you can watch her video on her page because she does a whole breakdown of the backlash that Emma Grede is facing. Emma Grede, she is a founder of Skims, a good American with the Kardashians, blah, blah, blah. She also has a new book out. She recently sat down with an interview with Kiki Shepard. She did an interview with Oprah recently as well. So I wanted to go over some of the things that people have been saying, because some people have been calling her out. Some social media is reacting to her doing a lot of black podcasts and saying that she's using black podcasters for clout. She's also a black woman. She's biracial, but she's a black woman.
When I found out I was going to be a parent, I immediately felt a lot of anxiety and worry. So I went on to BetterHelp to try to look for a therapist to help me with that.
My relationship with my family and with my boyfriend and with myself were suffering. I really needed help.
I was ruminating a lot. Really getting those thoughts out to a therapist and getting feedback was just life-changing.
Discover what BetterHelp Online Therapy can do for you. Visit BetterHelp.com today.
Her father is Trinidadian, and she was raised, her stepfather was Jamaican. Just saying, her mother's white, okay? All right, one of the things that people were talking about was the fact that she talks about working from home for women is hurting women. So in an op-ed piece from Forbes, they write this: in a recent interview that's been making headlines, British businesswoman and entrepreneur Emma Grede joined an episode of Keke Palmer's podcast, Baby. This is Keke Palmer to discuss her new book. In the episode, Grede stated, what I think is that work from home culture is a career killer for women. Grede, who indicated that she has had hundreds and hundreds of women that work for her, went on to say, we talk about all this sort of upside of Zoom culture, but none of the rigidity of it. And no one will really tell you, but careers require proximity and visibility. You want a pay raise? You want a pay raise? You want the next promotion? You want the big corner office? Guess what? You need to be there. Grede did not respond to a request for comment regarding her statements. When clips from the podcast went viral, Grede's statements drew backlash. Her statements echo similar sentiments of writer Malcolm Gladwell, who admonished the idea of working from home years ago, although Gladwell didn't seem to have an issue with working from home when it came to him. What? They continued. They said, it's important to unpack Grede's claims in more detail. While there's evidence of a proximity bias in the workplace, whereby employees that are physically closer are treated more favorably, Grede's statements overlook the role that race and class play in women's experiences and why so many women prefer to work from home in the first place. Since the pandemic, there's been a large work from home opportunity when you're looking for work, that as an opportunity, that more and more as an opportunity to work from home, or some sort of hybrid relation where you go into the office a couple of days a week. I know where I used to work, they still have it hybrid where you come in 2 to 3 times a week. I have friends that still work in corporate America that are working from home a couple of times a week. So it's become common. Doesn't seem to have hurt businesses, hasn't hurt culture. Employees, according to Forbes, from historically marginalized racial groups tend to prefer working from home for a myriad of reasons. For Black employees specifically, working from home provides them a break from racial microaggressions, the expectations of having to code switch, and even longer commute times on average than their white counterparts. Research indicates that Black mothers are at the highest risk of experiencing burnout. Throughout history, Black women have always been expected to labor and have the highest levels of labor market participation, never truly being given a reprieve. During slavery, enslaved women were expected to work as domestic servants and even wet nurses, providing breast milk for slaveholders' babies. In present day, Black women are more likely to be breadwinners in their households compared to their counterparts. Grede's statements add to the harmful and problematic narrative that women just need to, quote, lean in and adopt more masculine behaviors and traits to succeed in their careers, which is interesting because Emma grew up in the UK, and European culture, is not really like how it is here in the States, where people are always working all the time. I don't know how it is in the UK, but definitely European culture as a whole is not about working the way that Americans work all the time. But we also have to remember she's running an American business. Another element that people are pointing out when it comes to her own success, she met her husband, who's the CEO of Skims, who was largely investor in her work. She met him when she was 23 years old, when she was a subordinate of him. So he has been pretty much fronting a lot of the money and the businesses that she has acquired, they have acquired together. Here's the thing. I'm okay with people having a step up. And we've talked about this before. Especially in this day and age, you're going to see more and more people you're going to see the nepotism of it all. It happens all the time. A lot of the reasons why you see certain people advance the way they advance is not because they're the most skilled. It's a lot of times because they're able to shuck and jive. They're quote, more likable in the workplace. And that's why they get these different opportunities. I can't tell you the amount of people I saw in corporate America that did not work as hard as I did, but they were managers, directors, they would be advanced, they were making way more money. It happens all the time. And that's me talking as a man. We're not even talking about my counterparts that were women or Black women. I probably was making more than them. I have no idea. This is why it's important to talk about how much we're all making. This is why I thought it was important. I used to say this all the time in the workplace. I think it's important for us to talk about how much money we're making, or if I got a raise or I didn't get a raise, or how much I got for a raise. One of the things we could learn from the cast of Friends is that they were very transparent with each other about how much they were making, and they went in as a unified front, and they ended up now still collecting checks from them coming in as a unified front. But I think a lot of what's happening when it comes to Emma Grede is the fact that people feel like there's an element of her story that's not being told. How did she gain this level of success? I don't want to take away from her success when it comes to, yes, maybe she was uplifted because of who she married, but what did she do with that upliftment? We talked about this recently with Emma's interview with Kimora Lee. And you know how Russell Simmons was trying to take away from the push and the money that he put behind her. And we said, okay, yes, we're not going to take that away. That's an important part of the story to tell. And she tells that part of the story. But what did she do with it? I don't know Emma's complete story or behind the scenes in regards to what she did with the uptick that she got, but it's important to note it. Just saying. But this whole conversation about work from home is going to hurt women in corporate America. I find that to be really interesting because I don't believe that. I think that's going to become the norm. I do think it's important for interaction and camaraderie when it comes to working as a collective, but there's so much that we can do remotely. I have to say, I loved working remotely when I was working remotely. I was so productive and I wasn't burnt out by the time I got. Your diet becomes better because you're at home. You can do laundry, you can cook, you can prep while still managing working. You work, according to stats, you actually work better from home than when you're in the office. I remember being in the office, you want to gossip? Hey, water cooler talk. Let's talk about 90 Day Fiance. Let's talk about the Real Housewives. You stepping away from your desk for 15, 20 minutes. But at home, you could watch The Real Housewives and send that email. You can make a healthier lunch from home. You're not eating out. You're like, oh, okay, let's go and do this or that that's down the street. Spending money that you don't need to be spending. So I think there are far more benefits to working from home, even in a hybrid capacity, than there are not. I don't believe that's hurting women in the workplace. What's hurting women in the workplace is the patriarchy and other women that are still uplifting the patriarchy. That's a whole other conversation to be had because there are also women that are uplifting the patriarchy. And do I believe Emma really believes what she said? Yeah. Do I believe that this could be a calculated effort because of the rooms that she's in with other men? Could be. Uplifting the patriarchy. But thank you so much for reminding me. I almost completely forgot to talk about the story because we have so much to talk about. We had so much to talk about, but I wanted to make sure that we talked about the story. I will add the timestamps. I'm so glad that you guys stuck around. And for the people that didn't stick around, and you were like, where's the Emma Grede story? It was at the end. But we talked about, damn, this is almost a 3-hour live, y'all. Should I just keep talking until? No, I'm going to go meditate. I'm going to go rest my voice. I'm glad I found enough voice left to talk about this. Theo says, I work from home. Who works from home in the chat? Let me know. Who works from home? Or you have a hybrid schedule? I want to know who works from home. Should I do a poll? Maybe I should do a poll. Let me just do a quick poll, and then I will get out of here. And as I'm doing that, can y'all do me a favor and like the video? Can y'all do that for me? Thank you. Do me that favor, y'all. Let me do a quick poll. Who works from home? All right, quick poll. Who works from home or the office? Let me just do work from home, work in the office, and I'm going to give you the hybrid option. Hybrid of both. And then I'll give you the other option, unemployed. It's all right. Look. Unemployed or self-employed? Unemployed or... Because this is the one I would fill out. Self-employed. But I also work from home. All right. Yeah, I see a lot of people are doing the hybrid option. I think going to the office is good because you do want FaceTime with people. I think we are becoming too much of a society where we're not engaging with people. And this is coming from one that's an introvert that doesn't like to engage with people like that. But when I do, that's why I love doing the Kempire After Dark live show, because this is an opportunity for the community to see each other, be around each other. This is why I always tell you guys to come to a show, because this is your community. This is an opportunity to be around people, feel people's energy. Even though energy exists through space and time, so even through Zoom, you can feel people's energy. But it's something that's special about being around people. All right, I'll give you guys a moment to vote in the live chat poll because we're almost at 1,000 likes. Guys, I've been here for almost 3 hours. The least you can do is like this video. You can like it even if you're watching on your television, watching on your phone, watching on your computer. Like the video. Crystal says, okay, going in two times a week. Wavekeep, you're self-employed too, and you do hybrid. Okay, hybrid. I think a lot of people are doing hybrid. Let me see. Oh, hold on. There's a lot of people that are working from home. And it hasn't hurt you guys. Who's gotten raises from working from home? Who's gotten promoted from working from home? Wow, there's a lot of you that it makes sense because you're all watching me. Are you supposed to be working? Okay, so far 39% of you are working from home. Guys, we have over 1,000 of you here. Everyone vote. Please, no, I won't know that you voted, even if you're watching in the background. Okay. Q Potato says, can't we get to 1,200 likes? I agree, Q Potato. We have 1,500 people here. Who works from home? 38% of you work from home. 15%. Right now, it's a combination of working from home or a hybrid option. because 40% of you are working from home, 33% of you have the hybrid option. Keep voting. 11% are unemployed or self-employed. Same. Trinity says, my productivity went up. R. Willie says, I'm working and listening. I know that's right. I used to listen to my faves too when I was at work, but I was like, I had one headphone in the ear as I was doing the things. If I had like computer work to do, when I had like orientation stuff, like I couldn't do that. But here we are. Virgo Leo Cap says, I go into the office 1 to 2 days a week. I've told this before, I'll say it again. When we started going back into the office and they required us to go back into the office 2 to 3 times a week, that's when I was like, yeah, it's time for me to go. That really was, I started to go back into the office and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I was like, it's time for me to put in for my termination. I was like, not my termination, my quitting. I was not terminated. I was terminating that job. Oh, Danielle says, I had to terminate someone who worked remotely. Her numbers showed that she wasn't working. Look, of course Danielle will come in here with the contrary opinion. We have to keep in mind, there will always be someone that's going to abuse the system. Okay? D. Seratina says, Kempire, you're one of my coworkers. I know that's right. Jazzy says, I love hybrid. I can go to my doctor's. See, like you're more productive. Right? Toya says, I go to the office 4 times per week. That's a lot. Can we change that? Toya, that's a lot. Resignation. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Words are losing me. My resignation. Thank you. Not my termination. Lord. Crystal says, that's hilarious. Misty says, HR is not for the faint. As a Black woman, I enjoy working from home. People's mental health is better from working from home now. Shout out to the Forbes article, guys. If you missed it, you can actually read the full Forbes article that I just read in regards to this Emily Grede story. Emma Grede's Work From Home Take is Dangerous for Women by Janice Kassam Asari, who has a PhD. She's a senior contributor over there at Forbes. All right, let me see what the final... Keep voting, y'all. I'm giving you an opportunity. There's, again, over 1,500 of you here. I know we don't have 1,500. No, we have 1,100 of you watching on YouTube. So we should, I want to get to, let me get to at least 300 likes. Not 300 likes, 300 votes. We could definitely, come on everyone, vote. Tanya says, I love the hybrid. I can pick my daughter up while the sun is still out. See? I love this. And also please weigh in, replay crew, and those of you in the live chat. Has it hurt you? Has it hurt your performance at work? Has it hurt you from getting raises? Has it hurt you from FaceTime with your coworkers or your boss? Has it hurt in any shape or form? Has it stopped you from getting promotions? Has it stopped you from interviewing for other positions that are being posted? Just saying. I wish I invested in Zoom years ago, though, because I'd be doing real well, right? Oh, my goodness. I wish. I know that's right. Oh, I didn't even add that part. I didn't add. Technically, Nikki, you can put under unemployed, self-employed. I should have put retired. I should have put retired for that. So we'll include for unemployed, self-employed as retired. So if you're retired, shout out to our retirees. Jealous. I'm technically retired. I've been retired from corporate America. I'll be retired from this soon too, though. Stay tuned. Okay. Amara says, yeah, I did the office thing for over 12. Whew. And Toya says, I don't feel like it hurt me. Yeah. I love, this is a really great conversation. I'm glad that we ended on this conversation as opposed to Beverly Hills. Honestly. All right. I was trying to get to 300 votes. Come on, y'all. Keep voting. Keep voting. Again, we have over 1,000 of you on YouTube watching. Vote. Ooh, I needed that water. All right, hold on. Mocha Lita says, my company has shut down 3 of our offices to push everyone to work from home and only kept 2 offices open. That's the thing. That's the thing about a lot of the office spaces are not being utilized. I will say there's a place downtown Manhattan near where I used to work. It transferred from being an office building to, but we have a housing crisis in New York. So we need more apartments than we need office space. But that makes complete sense. And guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. Monique, thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you guys so much for all the likes. Monique says, working from home for 22. Oh, so this is not even new to you, Monique. You have set the bar. She says, working from home for 22 years before the wave. Hit every promotion, will never go back to the office. Also, when the pandemic happened, you were just like, whatever. Wow, for 22 years you worked from home. Wow. I love that for you. Okay. Oh, Miss Esquire has an update. Miss Esquire says, "Oh, Kempire, Kyle just said that the phones were allowed on set." But we see that all the time. Even with the recent reunions that we've covered, people are pulling out their phones to read receipts and stuff like that. They've always had phones on set. So it could be any of them. It could be any of them in regards to the summer house leak. Just saying. BY says that Emma is so privileged, she doesn't know what she's talking about. That's the thing, though. When you start reaching certain levels in life, money levels, experience levels, this is why I like having these conversations with you guys, because I don't want to sit here and act as if I know everything and that there isn't a level of privilege that I have myself. But this is why I'm listening. That's why sometimes you just got to listen. The Last Nerve, thank you so much for the super chat. Last Nerve says, just quit my work from home state job today to start my in-person Fed job on Wednesday. Oh, but okay. Happy, but I haven't been in person in 3 years. No more midday snacks. But it's a better job. Is there an option for work from home? I guess not for federal, right? I don't know. But look. It works for you, though. That's your choice. That's your choice. Dina says, I've been remote for 10 years. Okay, some of y'all have been remote for a long time, 10 years. If you want to see me, let's go to lunch or have a virtual lunch. And have you done stuff like that? Maureen says, someone's husband on Reddit, who's an audio engineer, thinks it was some type of control room because they're... That's why I said it really could be anyone, but the way that it picked up everyone's voices. It's hard for me to think that it was someone's phone, but phones have gotten better. Don't get me wrong. Phones have gotten better with picking up a lot of sound and stuff like that, unless someone had an actual device that was good for picking up sound. But it makes me think that it's control room because it's picking up so clearly everyone's voice. Way of Keith says, I've been able to achieve 2 promotions with my current hybrid schedule, but I've been able to focus on my business, so I can't be mad at it, because Keith says he works. He has a regular job and he's also self-employed. LLL says, I started out in the Brooklyn office, then they moved to Long Island and Staten Island. So, not they moved to Staten Island. Who does that? It's expensive in Brooklyn, so maybe that's why. So I got to work from home. It's been about 3 years now. That's amazing. That's good. And look, maybe the pandemic allowed these things to happen, because before, maybe you would have lost your job instead of them saying that there was a remote option. And now everyone is seeking a remote option. Cindy says, I work from home since COVID. I don't know if they block things here on YouTube if you say the word, but I'm just going to say it. We were ordered back to the office by our governor. I'm fixing to start my application for retirement and retire in June. Good for you. Doesn't that feel good? I know a couple people that ended up retiring when they started telling people to come back. Roro says, who moves to Staten? You know what? Shut up. Apparently my parents did. I was like, what the hell? Anyway. Queen Shamama, this will be my last comment, and I got to go, y'all. I got to go meditate. Queen Shamama says, I've been working from home since 2020. I do emergency psychiatric assessments virtually. Offices are overrated. Raises annually and promoted in January. Family loves it. First of all, congratulations. And look, I love that. I love that. I really do love that. Especially for people of color, Black women. We were just talking to you about the stats on that. Thank you so much for 316 votes. Let me just give you the final roundup, and then I'm getting out of here. 40% of you are working from home, and 16% are working from the office. 31% of you have a hybrid option, meaning working from home but also going into the office. And 12% of you are unemployed, self-employed, or retirees. I know, look, maybe I'll post this on the community tab to hear more from you guys, but let's continue this conversation on everything from Summer House to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to this Emma Grede story. Let's continue this conversation there. Thank you to our King Scars. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our sponsor today, Hulu. I hope you guys have a great recommendation. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And a recommendation. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you all in the next one. I'll add the timestamps later. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. For more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.